little shit, this some little shit. This some little shit, this some little shit. Yeah, don't be. Yeah. I seen it all coming, knew they would press the button. Trick-or-treating for some reaction that ended you for nothing. I pin a tail on the snakes, tryna slither fast. A lawnmower's dream, embrace the cuts and never call my bluff. I didn't come this far to only come this far. I heard you're pushing the pen, but I'm still looking for bars. You see the magnified vision made me dodge so many bullets in discussions in a huddle with conspiracy to throw me under. Rejection made the pen darker than a horror scene. Rejection made the pen darker than Marley or a Ghana queen. Triple bean dreams, I'm a theme for more cream. How they still coming up short for £0 worth of loyalty? I guess the separation was for elevation. Heartbreak kid, never had an ex in this degeneration. Steady pacing, cruising on the late night for the stress for me. Flashback to the car park conversations between you and me. I always kept that far and never shied away. Like Sinatra till the day I die, I do it my way. Shifted the focus back on self, now niggas looking sideways. Never been attacking me through people I loved and I rate. But this is the price that I paid. My top left been the ice age. Naps don't fix this type of tired anymore, so I'ma try and have some fun and live it up. Who got the shots? Hand me down that Jaeger over there. Wait, it's a celebration over here. It's a celebration. Whoa. Hand me down that Jaeger over there. It's a celebration over here. It's a celebration over here. Everything I thought was drowning me and thought just taught me how to swim. So I facilitate the growth to bless your ear right from this gift. All I see is Jones moving like Khaled and the features. Jigaboo faking the fun while they still envy from the bleachers. Nowadays I feel like Chris, the grass ain't greener on the other side. Greener pastures turn to bizarre rise like the Pharaoh side. I guess hustlers don't complain, we just figure it out. The things we tolerate for wealth got me in doubt like. Now you know I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keep dealing me cards, I keep fitting in love.
Boy, lads, how's everyone doing? How's everyone doing today? You know what I mean? Big up Ish, big up Romz, big up Jerry, Kurdish in the blood clot building. Thank you all for joining me today for another live show. Big up everyone who's obviously in the chats at this present moment in time, guys. If you haven't already, I've put their links anyway in the description, so guys, make sure you go over to all of these guys' Twitter accounts, Instagram accounts, YouTube channels as well. I'm gonna put Kurdish's up in a second. How's everyone doing though? Like generally, how's everyone feeling though outside of Liverpool?
Great, bro. Can't complain.
Hey, Kurdish, man, how you doing, bro? Thank you for joining in today, man. Thank you.
No, thanks for having me on, bro. I'm doing all right.
No, Kurdish. No. Listen, all of you, and this goes for Ish, Romz, Jerry, and Kurt. Don't bring your Liverpool negativity over here. Let me hear some. You know what I mean? Like, let me see some smiles and that. I don't want that kind of negativity spread over here.
Day to day is okay, brother. Day to day is okay. I've just got back from the gym. All blessed, man. All blessed. But yeah, man. Shame we can't say it about the football, but we can get into that.
Nah, we'll get into that, man. We'll get into that. Look, obviously, I don't do a lot of lives anyway. I kind of saved that for the professionals. But, you know, when we got to the halfway stage, I said, you know what? Let's have a little chat, man. Let's have a little chat, you know, about Liverpool in regards to everything that's kind of gone on. January is now finished. We've had a few games this January. Well, been a crazy Jan. Transfer window is obviously now done. No more business. Well, I've heard a few rumblings about a few free signings that might be available, but in regards to everything, everything is done and dusted. So we kind of move on. Kurdish, chat to me. Liverpool this January. How's it kind of been?
It's been a mess, mate. It's been a mess. You've seen me, Klopp's biggest defender, come out and criticise him multiple times. Tactically, it's been incompetent, but it's been even more incompetent off the pitch. I don't really want, we can get into the transfer dealings later, but yeah, on the pitch, a lot of decisions that don't make sense. Elliot at left wing, Gakpo through the middle, the continuous need to bring James Miller on and Jordan Henderson when you have better control in the game. So there's a lot there to be admired. There's not a lot there to be admired. Apologies. I don't know, man. It's deflating times at the moment, and I think it's extremely infuriating when there's such a glaring need, and we've just sat and done nothing. We've done nothing. We've watched pretty much everyone we've got competition with strengthen their war chest in one way or another. And we've just sat there and gone, okay, come attack us. Because even if we sign in the summer, these guys are now 4 months ahead for the new season. They've already planned ahead, mate. So we're here just going, we'll play late. And like I say, it's not about Enzo, it's not about big fees, but it's about a statement of intent. And we really needed to make one. And we didn't. We didn't, man. Yeah. It's tough. It's a tough watch at the moment.
No, facts, man. Facts. Ish. I know you got a lot to say. I know you got a lot to say. Sorry that I'm covering you, obviously, at the moment.
No. It's all good.
This is Liverpool fixture, results, should I say, from January. 1 win in January. Obviously, the latest one being the 2-1 defeat to Brighton in the FA Cup 4th round. Loss to Brentford. That's how we started the month. We started the new year. Everyone's happy. Everyone's just a little bit drunk. Probably still a little bit tired and that. Just coming back from a few bits and bobs.
Them man
get to Wolves.
Them man were definitely drunk. I don't know about you, but them man were definitely drunk in that game, bro. Crazy.
So obviously, when we started the month, I think we had just come off the back of a victory actually before that Brentford game, I believe. So obviously we're starting the new year.
Leicester.
Yeah,
Villa. It might have been Villa.
No, Leicester.
It's Villa then Leicester. Yeah.
Villa then Leicester. So obviously we come into Brentford down in London, and obviously we know what Brentford's about. Brentford are a good team. Like it's not a giveaway in them kind of games. So we come up against Brentford. We lose 3-1, so we don't even start off the year well. But okay, cool. You know what? Liverpool aren't really notoriously known for having good Januaries anyway. Maybe last season might even have just been an exception. So fair enough. Cool. I'm not even stressing too much, purely because we've come off the back of 4 victories. So I thought, okay, might just be a little blip. We get to Wolves. 2-2. FA Cup 3rd round. So now we got to have a replay. So then we think, all right, cool. Say no more. Got to have a replay. It is what it is. We then get to Brighton. That's where things really started to we had a meltdown in the whole of January. I think that's obviously the worst of it. We then defeat Wolves, different system. Well, not system, different set of players in the same system. But it seemed to work. So we thought, you know what? We can't complain. Obviously, we sit up here, we talk about Klopp and how he doesn't like to change things, etc., etc. We had to give him his dues in that game. He changed it around a little bit. He had Harvey Elliott playing, by Chetic, Keita. We had what we wanted in that game, kind of thing. No problem whatsoever. We then get to Chelsea. Absolutely dire 0-0 game. Nothing really to write home about. And then obviously we end the month with defeat to Brighton in the FA Cup 4th round. Ish, I know you got a lot to say, man. Chat to me. Chat to the people, bro. Get off your chest now. Get off your chest.
See this month, yeah? It just confirmed everything I already thought I knew about this club. I'm ready for change at every level. On the pitch, in the dugout, in the boardroom, at every level at this club, I'm ready for change, bro. I'm ready for change. You're not gonna sit here and see me screaming FSG out or Klopp out, but just know I'm ready for change. I'm ready for change. Yesterday, deadline day, everyone chopped. Everyone chopped. Even I don't want to hear any excuses about ownership or being up for sale. Because Man United are up for sale. They've arguably got worse owners than we have. When they got Sabitzer, no problem. Quality, Champions League proven, Bayern Munich midfielder. They said, yeah, let's go and grab him on loan.
Mhm.
There's things to be done. Weston McKennie. You look at Leeds. Leeds are in a relegation scrap at the moment. All right, fair enough. You can say he's got Tyler Adams and them man in the team already to kind of do similar to what Virgil done with Gakpo and kind of not tap him up, but they can get in his ear. They went and got someone. Wolves went and grabbed 3 midfielders. Leicester went and grabbed a couple players. Every single club in the league, whether they're top of the league, bottom of the league, they try to do it. Whether it's like within their pay grade or they had to go out and splash the cash, they did something to at least try and say, all right, cool, we're in January now, and whether our season's going well or not, we're trying to do something to change the next 6 months of the season. What did we do? We started with intent, like we normally do. Normally start the window well. And you can say, yeah, we like to get our business done early. But it's all well and good saying you'd like to get your business done early. But if the business is not finished, then it's not any good, is it? All right, cool, we got Gakpo over the line, but I'm pretty sure we'll all sit here now and agree that if you said to us, we don't get Gakpo, but we can get 1 or 2 midfielders, which one are we going to take? We'll take the midfielders. That's where we have the most glaring hole in our squad. So you sign Gakpo, and I've said it before, I'm willing to give him until next year either way. Even if he gets no goals or 10 goals, I'm willing to give him a blind until next year. But you're looking at it and you're seeing, has he added any value to us, to our team right now? Are we looking like we're any? Fair enough if he's coming and banged 3 goals and we're still leaking goals at the back, you can be like, okay, cool. But at least he's brought something to the team where you can say, this is kind of why we signed him. Signed him for nothing. Signed him for no reason. That's £50 million going down the drain. And I think I've used this analogy before. If your mum gives you £10 to go to the shops and you come back with £10 worth of sweets, but your mum's like, where's the eggs, the milk, and the bread? She's gonna be looking at you like you're a dickhead. Like, why have you not spread your money better? Like, it literally makes no sense. It makes 0 sense.
You know,
Clubs
G
that
was that kid. G loves his sweets. That was G.
Yo, listen,
But
the
you know what's
beatings
gonna
I used to
happen.
get were
Thank you,
ridiculous.
You know what's gonna happen to you when you come back. You have to face the consequences. We went and spunked all of our money on this one guy who we don't really need. He's not really added much value, and I feel sorry for him as well because he's coming to a team which just looks like an absolute shambles right now. And surprise, surprise, we play him out of position straight away. Straight away, we said, okay, cool. You've been doing bits in the left wing, World Cup, Europa League, Eredivisie. You've been doing bits. What do we do? Put you in a different position. There is no logic to anything we are doing at the moment. It doesn't make sense. If you explain it to someone who doesn't understand football, they'll be like, well, what's going on? This is a madness. So I'm running out of things to say, but like I said, I'll finish the way I started. This has just confirmed everything for me. I'm ready to see change from top to bottom. I
For
don't
me,
even like any of these players anymore. I don't want to watch us play. It's all just dead. But yeah, that's my 2 pence. And
I kind of want to just expand on what Curtis said because he's probably made one of the most glaring points that I've been saying the last few weeks. Even with this potential takeover, people think it's just going to click and we're suddenly competing again. What we need to understand, and I'm not including Spurs in this because Spurs are just Spurs. Sorry if there's any Spurs fans watching this on the replay.
Nah, don't be sorry. No, don't be sorry.
I don't respect you at all. But United, they only have to, I think they'll go and compete next year. They have to add, I'd say, probably 3-4 more players to the amount of title challenge. Arsenal and City are already there. They're just going to have to add a few tweaks. Chelsea, cool. Can put he's going to have a lot of big personalities and big players, but they have quality in abundance. I think the only thing with them is how's he going to be able to manage all the personalities? And once players come back like Lukaku and etc., because I don't think Inter will end up paying that fee.
Oh yeah, I forgot about they got Lukaku.
Exactly.
their squad is going to be
Then
looking
Kunku
mad.
it's like how do you deal with all them personalities? Potter's never had a changing room like that. So, but I still think because sometimes quality can be enough to get you through the line. They might not be there. I think they will compete. A lot of other people think they won't, but I don't think it will take as long to gel as people think. And I feel like I'm forgetting the team. Yeah, Chelsea, United, and then Newcastle. Newcastle, and they won't challenge next year, but I think they will confirm they'll confirm their status as a top 4 club. Because again, especially if they get it this year, again, they're just adding quality. Again, the richest club in the world. for us, even with this takeover, we've got so much work to be done. Like Curtis said, we're playing catch up because it's not only that we need acquisitions to come in. Whether you're Klopp in, Klopp out, that's your decision. But even if Klopp stays or he goes, we still need an overhaul of players. Even with the takeover, so it's like we're still gonna be steps behind these clubs, and we can't really afford that because let's say we then get better next season. All the other clubs are already steps up ahead of us. So it's like it's not as for me. I'm just worried even about the near future because even if this takeover comes about, I just want to big up Curtis from what he says. It's still worrying because we're not going to be where the majority of our fans think we will be. Even with an overhaul, that still then needs to gel. Where other teams were already steps ahead, they pre-plan. They're gelling from about now. So that 4 or 5 months is very key. But it's like that Curtis said, it's worrying times. And the same thing with Ish said with Gakpo. Me personally, I don't think he'll be a success at Liverpool. I know people are saying give him time or not, but you know, certain players, you just have that feeling that they just won't be. Yes, he'll score a wonder goal. He'll get us off our seats. He'll have moments. Of course he will. But I just don't see enough yet. Maybe I should give him more time like that, how Ish is doing. But there's no positive at all. Even today, right, the club announced we're the first Prem team to win some award because we held events in that. I don't care about Bon Jovi, Elton John, Jones, and the Rolling Stones performing at Anfield. I don't care. Like, I want success throughout the club and on the
fact that even advertising that in this current situation is embarrassing. But I do not want to hear about these things. See, when you're winning, all that stuff is nice. All that stuff is so nice when you're winning. I'm seeing Daniel Craig in the cop.
It's like the icing on the cake.
Bro, it's nice, isn't it? You can say welcome doing their thing on and off the pitch.
You know, if you go in the comments under that, all the fans are saying, we don't care, get us success, That's what everyone's saying.
I think it's a case of Liverpool social media need to start reading the room a lot better as well. We need to stop doing certain things.
In their head, we're still sick. In their head, we're still sick. It's mad. Yeah. It's so mad.
But I also think it's a little game because unless the person running the account is some bloody 60-year-old, which I doubt it is, it's probably someone relatively young. I feel like sometimes they do these things because in their eyes, they're looking at it thinking maybe this might have the adverse effect of it might just cheer a few people. Obviously, not that specifically, but certain things that they have posted up. You know, I'm always thinking, you know, you're posting up, I don't know, Bajcetic signed a new contract. We don't care. Like, that's not sorting out our issue today. You know, we're more concerned with, even though, of course, we want him to sign a new deal and stuff like that. I always think to myself, you need to kind of maybe just read the room a little bit better, because I think once you've got the fans on side, it doesn't matter what you're doing anyway, because whether the team's playing poorly or not, if the fans are on side, no one's going to be getting at you, you know, saying certain things. Again, social media is so powerful that I think you need to make sure it's your best friend rather than your enemy, because if it's your best friend, you know, the perception that you will have amongst your fan base can be even bigger than the actual reality of what's actually going on. So it is a catch-22. Jerry, chat to me, dog, if you're there anyway. I don't know if he's there, but obviously you predicted a couple wins this month. We've got one. Chat to me.
Yeah, man. Like, you know, you try to.
You being optimistic. That's what threw me. That's what threw me.
No, but that's what's mad. You're being optimistic because you're saying to yourself, you know what? Like, I need to. Look, we need to be. I'm trying to be a fan as well. Like, of course, you do the content creation. Of course, you make your predictions. And I'm someone that's very logical in life in general. Like, I'm very I struggle to not work with logic. Like, because of how I am, it's just the way it is. So I've tried to force these predictions and look for reasons as to why Liverpool would win potentially in certain games. I was like, I don't know, I've just got a feeling. And I never really had a feeling, let me be honest. I never had a feeling. I was just saying that to appease the masses. But if I went with my gut feeling, I knew, come on, man, we're not doing jack. What did I say? After the Champions League final loss, actually no, before it, what did I go and say on Kopish? And everyone's gone and heard it. I said, Liverpool are not going to win a major title for 5 years. I said it, and people laughed at me. People said to me, "No, what are you talking about? Like, what? Are you crazy? Like, how could you go and say that?" And I already knew. I used logic and said to myself, "This team is at the end of its cycle. Like, even if we were to go, and Liverpool don't do this, but even it's going back to what Kurdish said, and big up to Kurdish, is that if we go and spend 700 million in the summer, right? It's going to take about 4 seasons for them to all develop and click in Klopp's system anyway. How long did it take Wijnaldum, Genie, what's it called? Sorry, Wijnaldum, Verge, Alisson, Salah, Mane, Bobby, all to click and be at that peak level? It took about 3-4 seasons. 3-4 seasons now. We won the Premier League 2 seasons ago. Now, it just, the club's in a complete mess. Everyone's at fault. It's the ownership. It's the manager.
No, I feel you, bro. I feel you. So, I was looking at this earlier on.
I tried to read.
Oh,
Pardon?
No, go on. Sorry, no,
yeah. Yeah, and the way I tried to reason, obviously, why Liverpool would win when I was trying to be as optimistic as possible, is I looked at it and I was like, well, these players are still better than the opposition. So when I'm looking at these players should still be able to achieve top 4, even if they were poor. They should be able to beat Brentford. Not even, you know what, scrap it, not even achieve top 4. But look at the teams they're losing against. Brighton, Brentford, Nottingham Forest, dropping points for Fulham, Leeds. Like, all the Liverpool should be beating these teams comfy. And if you're not doing that, for me, it's even forget what's going on off the pitch, right? On the pitch, what's going on? On the pitch, what's going on? We're talking about, you know what I mean? That picture's mad. We're talking about, we're talking about, do you know what I mean? One of the greatest managers of all time. You're trying to tell me he can't go and use just his tactical knowledge that he's amassed for over 20 years to go and get through these games with the world-class talents that he keeps talking about. Hence the reason why we're not signing these players, because we've got Morton and Jones and Ox and Keita, regardless whether they're fit or unfit. If you're trying to tell me you can't navigate a respectable kind of even fifth with these types of players at this moment in time, for me, that's the first issue that needs to be addressed. Forget the owners, forget anything else, because whether he gets signings or not, the talent's still there to get top 4. Yes, not to win the leagues, not to win Champions Leagues, but not to get knocked out by Brighton in the FA Cup and lose to Nottingham Forest. For me, that's unacceptable, man.
That's my big issue with Klopp, if I'm being honest. Like, and the players to an extent as well, but I always look at the manager first. So we had 2021, obviously Virgil got injured. Everything just went left. I know we pulled it back to third in the end, but we got 6 home L's in a row. The season just completely derailed. Bro, the season, and it was like Burnley, Fulham, losing to mad teams. The whole thing just went so sideways. Luckily, we managed to put it together. I think we won 8 of the last 10 games or whatever. But my point is this, yeah? You don't always get what you want as a manager. Potter's had bare injuries. Ten Hag's had to cope with injuries this season as well. Every team's had injuries this season. They still managed to navigate away. But my thing with Klopp is that if it's not all perfect and we don't have a season where we don't get any injuries, the thing just goes completely sideways, bro. Like, we're looking at that now. We're ninth. That's not cool, bro. That's not okay. And on any circumstance, doesn't matter whether you're having injury crisis, suspensions, whatever. You shouldn't drop from second 1 point and 2 games away from a quadruple to ninth. Like that I can't get my head around that. I actually can't get my head around it. It shouldn't be a case of we can only win a title or we can only win a Champions League when we have no injuries. That's not realistic. It's not sustainable either. Like, it can't just everything's just falling apart, bro. Everything's just falling apart. I don't even recognize these players anymore. Like JJ said, we're losing to just meaty teams as well. Like, I don't even know what to say, man. I don't even know what to say. We can't have a case where it's just it all just goes mad all of a sudden.
It's like what Ish and JJ were saying many times. Everything shouldn't have to align. You shouldn't have to have all your players in their peak, no injuries, X, Y, Z, for you to then go and win something big. Like, you should be able to have some disadvantages and still be able to overcome them. That's what elite. I'm not saying Klopp's not elite, but that's what elite managers do. Cool. We know FSG hasn't given him the most help, but there's a lot of things. And big up Kurdish, because Kurdish is one of Klopp's biggest fans. But even he's, like he says, come out and called out things recently. There's things that are on the field that have nothing to do with FSG, that Klopp's just being so tactically inept. And I think you're spot on with that. Is from how we go from potentially 2 games off a quad to ninth. regardless what happens during the season, the drop off shouldn't be that big. Maybe if we were a fifth, 4 points off fourth, you even be able to accept that. Even that shouldn't be acceptable, by the way. I'm not saying it should be, but it's more acceptable. We're higher up. We're still on course to qualify for the Champions League, which we know brings in a lot of income, whatnot, which will enable us to attract better players. But to be ninth, no, that's crazy.
That's what I feel like. I'm looking around everywhere, and I'll even bring it up here. This is the table this season. I'm not even going to remove the smash the like button. I'd rather have that there than look at our position, to be honest with you. The fact that I'm even struggling to see us on this list, that tells a story, in itself, to be honest with you. The Arsenals, the Cities, the Newcastle United, and Manchester United. I'm looking at those four and I'm thinking, even with Tottenham only 3 points away, I feel like they're all right there, kind of thing. I don't feel like there's going to be too much of an issue, for those teams to potentially finish up, in the top four this season. Brighton look like they could make a late run, potentially got a game in hand over, City, Newcastle and United, and 2 games in hand over Spurs. So they could easily go into 5th position. You're looking at Fulham, Brentford even, they'll probably fall off potentially, obviously as the season goes on. But for me, I like, there's just too many issues. So you look at the transfer window. We started the window calm. Look, at the end of the day, we got in Gakpo. I think all of us sat there, as Ish said, yes, obviously, if we had to choose between getting a Gakpo or looking at potentially getting, midfielders in, you probably would have said, I'd rather get the midfielders in. But if we're getting in Gakpo so early in the window, wrapped up, done and dusted, I don't know about you guys, but I kind of thought, right, okay, I know Liverpool do their business pretty early because they want to get the players in and, into the squad and stuff like that. I thought we get them in early, we're going to get a midfielder in. That was the talk for about a week. I thought to myself, I'm going to give them a week. I'll give them a week and a half. Maybe they're just trying to find the right deal, trying to haggle, negotiate and things like that. I'm good with that. You can get in a midfielder, someone who can just help us out. I've got no problems. But we ended up, obviously signing only Gakpo in that window, but being linked with Amrabat, being linked with Caicedo, being linked with Enzo, who's now gone to Chelsea, being linked with Rice, at some points in the transfer window, and ending up with this. We've only got this now left. Fabinho, Hendo, Bajcetic, Ox, Jones, Elliott, Thiago, Keita. Now, I'm not trying to diss them. I'm really not trying to diss them because the reality is...
I am. I'm trying to diss them.
No.
Biggest lineup of scrubs.
Like, we'll get into,
they look
I'll
like the biggest lineup of scrubs I've ever seen in my life. Put up again, please.
Okay, cool. So if you're looking at this, I'm saying this, the reality is, okay, take out the first 2 because they're clearly over the hill and far away. If you're looking at Bajcetic, Elliott, Thiago, Keita, at least, that's obviously 4 of them there. I'm looking, and then the rest can all be bench players, etc. If I'm looking at those 4 in the right system, under the right style of play and things like that, I wouldn't mind those 4 swapping between themselves, whoever misses out, blah, 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 whatever, that's fine. But in terms of the midfield in itself, as we've seen already, Bajcetic, he's even in this list that I put together, he's even ahead of the Fabinhos, the Hendos, the Oxes, the Joneses. Like, he's ahead of these guys. He's the one that we're looking at, and we're all literally pinning our hopes on him in terms of being in that 6th position, because we're sick of seeing Fabinho there. We know Hendo can't play there, and no one else can actually play that position. So when we do finish the window, and we're finishing the window with only Gakpo, and again, this goes back to Liverpool social media and just Liverpool in general, you need to start reading the room a lot better. Kurdish, I'll ask you this. Do you feel that, like, once we've obviously finished the window and we've not signed any midfielders at all, are you looking at the situation and saying to yourself, okay, the optimist in you is saying we're going to have a big summer, like a real big summer where we're going to get in all of these midfielders that we need, etc.? Or are you looking at it and potentially thinking to yourself, the club seem like they're actually okay with this moving forward in terms of the targets that they really want, i.e. Jude Bellingham, potentially Mateus Nunes, they're not going to move now. So because they're not going to move now, the club are kind of good with everything else. They don't really feel the need to kind of push on.
I think the biggest thing for me, is something you said about being ready in the winter and going for a midfield. If we were competent, we would have made pre-announcement on the day before, the same way with Gakpo, and they would have said, "Here's Gakpo. That's what a competent club would have done." Because you're in that much of a need. I don't think people realize that midfield, whoever you put in, isn't a solution, and you can't fix the problem when your solution is the problem. That midfield is gone, and it's incompetence to not have addressed it early on. So then you leave it to the last week, and you still don't do anything. But that's nothing else. I think what Jerry said is spot on. I think if we go with these owners, it's in part of their cycle where you have 2-3 years where you go back again, you win one title, and then you have another 5 years going to that level. And I think if you have them owners, that's how you're going. So really align your expectations. If you get new owners, maybe they come in, they do a Todd Bowley and go, here's £400 million, and you're going, here's Jude Bellingham, here's Caicedo, I don't know, a replacement for Salah, and you think maybe you could go again instantly. But under these owners, man, I think it's just going to be a long one. It's going to be a long one.
No, bro, I totally agree with you, man. But at the same time, even in all of that, and this is to everybody, to be honest, guys, in the chat as well. If I showed you this, do you think we won, drew, or lost that game? Any of you? Do you think we won, lost, or drew that game? Just by looking at that.
Just by looking at that, I'd have to say a slender win.
Ish?
I don't even think what game that was.
Yeah, I didn't want to put the match because then obviously you'll see it.
Yeah, well, I'm guessing we didn't win it because we've only won once this.
No, this is from this season. This is just this season. Like a lineup that we've had this season. Yeah.
Right, draw? I don't even know, bro.
Kurdish, what do you think, man? Do you think we won this game or drew this game or lost this game?
I think that's a draw, bro. I think that's a draw.
We drew this game against Wolves 2-2.
Yeah.
If I showed you this lineup, do you think we won, lost, or drew this game? Or drew this game?
That's a loss. That's the game where Alcantara was incredible. And he ran it for both of them. But I'm sure we lost that game. Is it? No, we beat Leicester. I'm thinking Leicester. But was that game Leicester?
Bobby.
This is the game that we lost 2-1 to Leeds. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay, yeah. I'm trying to think the last time Bobby even. Bro, that was Halloween. That's
Oh
how long ago
God!
since
Yeah,
Bobby played.
Bobby's in the team.
That was against Leicester, you said, G.
Yeah, Bobby. No.
No. This is against Leeds. We lost to Leeds.
Yeah. Bobby's there. I didn't even see Bobby.
If I showed you that,
That's Leicester or Aston Villa.
we won 2-1 against Leicester with that same lineup.
Yeah.
None of
And
them
then
are
obviously
goals,
this
by
one-
the way. None of them are goals.
This one's probably very obvious.
Everton.
Oh, that's that's Forest.
Yeah.
That's Forest.
This is-
Curtis
yeah.
and Flacco starting in midfield.
Mhm.
Yeah. Forest.
This is the loss to Forest. But I'm looking at this one here. We can talk about the midfield. We can talk about whatever injuries and stuff like that. And obviously we've got injuries. Obviously Diaz, Jota, not being available to play and stuff like that. That team right there, no one here can tell me that team should be losing games. Not against Leeds United anyway. Maybe if you come up against a City, potentially. And even then, I'll be honest, I still can't see us saying, comfortably, yeah, we're going to lose the game because we've got who? Trent at the back, Gomez, Van Dijk, Andrew Robertson, Alisson, Elliott, Fabinho, Thiago, Firmino, Salah, Nunes. That doesn't scream to me, yeah, you should lose that game though. And that is go on.
Sorry to cut.
No.
One, as you're showing me those three teams or whatever, I hear what you're saying in terms of on paper we should be losing, but the one thing that is actually sticking out to me is, bro, I've been seeing a lot of these same players for about 5-6 years. And listen, I'm not asking us to do a Todd Bowley and to go and sign 11, 12 man in one window. But listen, in a perfect world, that's what we all want. But bro,
Nah, cool.
keep it fresh a little bit. Keep it moving slightly. If you get one of those teams back up again, Allison, Joe Gomez, Matip, Van Dijk, Fabinho, Bobby, Salah. That's 6 or 7 men who've been seeing since 17, 18, which is like now what, 5, 6 seasons ago. I don't care what your team is, unless you're the Real Madrid team that done the three-peat of the Champions League. Every team needs a refresh every 3 to 4 years. Doesn't matter what players you've got, whether it's for new ideas, new hunger. Because a lot of these players, like we all like to brag about all the time, they've won it all, they've won all the trophies. So where's the hunger then? If you won it all, where's the hunger to come back and win it again? It's either got to come from the manager or you bring in new coaches like Sir Alex did. Carlos Queiroz and them, man. Yeah, go on.
Sorry to cut you, bro. That's the worrying thing. Normally, when you win it once, you naturally have that hunger to then win more. That's where it's very worrying because you're right. You should then. There should be more. There should be that mentality. But I feel like our players, but there's a lot of factors, whether they're spent or whatnot. But I don't feel some of them naturally have that hunger to then go again. Yes, you
but
can
you know
say
what it is. That hunger. Sorry to quick. That hunger comes from bringing in a couple new pieces every summer. Because even with United, they were successful over a 13-year period, but it's only really like a Giggs or the Neville brothers who were there for the whole thing. Every summer, he'll be like, "Cool, thank you very much. You've done your thing for me. You gotta go." Beckham,
you know what was the perfect example of what you're saying, Ish?
Yeah.
Even the acquisition of Diaz last January, it kind of galvanized the squad. Because without him, I don't think we push on all 4 fronts.
No,
you know
because Mane doesn't go into the middle, and Mane looks new and rejuvenated as well.
Exactly, because not only we added quality, we added depth to the quality we already had. Do you know what I mean?
This is what I was gonna say. But did we though? All we did was add in one player. It's not like we brought in 3-4 players to the position. We've got more players now, by the way. We've got more, like obviously when everyone's fit, we've got more players in the attack now. And we're already looking like, it's not really, or few players, maybe, if he comes back, he might be, whatever kind of thing. All we did was add in Diaz last season.
How many of those players that we have now that you signed elevate the quality? Like I know you signed Gakpo, but Diaz was a notable improvement in quality.
And also,
go on.
Also, it was the different dimension. Like we didn't really have a player of his ilk that's your kind of modern, kind of your old-fashioned touchline, chalk on your boots winger. He kind of changed the dimension within our forward line because if you look at a lot of our forwards in the Mane used to kind of do what Diaz is doing, but we saw towards the end of his Liverpool career, he couldn't do what he once did. But the Manes, the Salahs, the Bobbies, the Jotas, they're all different but very similar in a way. Diaz was the only one that kind of, your old-fashioned boxer that literally put your fists up, let's have a go. Like he's that old-fashioned type of forward. And I feel like it changed the dimension within our forward line. That's why I said not necessarily he added quality, it was a different type of quality. And I think it was refreshing for the opposite. It was refreshing for us and something new to think about for the opposition. Do you know what I mean?
I agree.
So that's why I'd say he galvanized us in a way. And I do feel he was a big catalyst in us competing on all 4 fronts.
No, I agree. Guys, in the chat, man, everyone loving the conversations and stuff like that. Please make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already. Look, Liverpool are definitely a stress, and I've this whole month I've just been calm. You know what I mean? We're entering the month of love, Valentine's Day and that, coming up soon. So make sure you guys get your flowers ready and etc. etc. I think a day before Valentine's Day, I feel like we've got Everton Merseyside derby. I think
on the Monday,
Monday, yeah. We've got Everton, so clearly no love lost is going to be in that kind of game. And I'm looking towards this month. We've got Real Madrid as well, in the Champions League. So, a lot going on. And I just think that when I'm looking at Liverpool this season and just this month, if I'm just taking this month if I just plot that out of, the entire season, you're not going into this month with any level of form. Like I said, we won 1 game this entire month. Yes, I know Liverpool are notoriously known for not really having good Januaries. Still no excuse, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's just our thing. How do you think we move forward as a club in general? You know what? Forget the club actually, because we can't sign anyone anyway until the summer. So forget about signings and things like that. In terms of the team, Jurgen Klopp, the players, because the players are also culpable. I'm not going to let them slide. Like I can get into Klopp every day, but when you've got Salah, Fabinho, you know, dropping stinkers every single week.
Sorry to cut you. Not even to add insult to injury. Another key fixture you may have just missed there is even Newcastle away. That's another big fixture now. So
yes, sorry, you know, completely. I was trying to like block these games from my memory. It was only Real Madrid that I was thinking about. But when we're looking ahead to the rest of the season, Kurdish, Romz, Ish, Jerry, when he comes back in, how do you think we're going to be able to, you know, move forward? Like, where do we even kind of go from here in a general sense? Like, how do we go, you know, how do we move forward from here?
For me, it's the small things that, for me, the small things, I'm not even going to say they'll do a world of good at this stage, but it's kind of, we know Klopp won't do this, but it's kind of changing the way we play to cater to our players' abilities. Even, you know how we still step up high, even just dropping off the 5-10 yards, it's small things that, for me, that I'm not going to say we'll do the world of good, but you'll see something changing, because I keep going back to the City game. All 5 of us on this panel, I'm just going to assume, I don't know for sure about you, Kurdish, but I'm assuming none of us thought we even had a chance against City. I definitely didn't. I don't think you did, G. I don't think you did, JJ.
You know I didn't.
The fact Klopp actually changed something, I was proud of him. I was actually so proud that he actually changed tactics, and shit, Sherlock, we actually got a result by it, which none of us could see coming. So I think if he just changed, if he comes out of his comfort zone and change what he does, because forget signings, all that now, the window's shut. Don't even mention FSG until the summer when the takeover happens. Now it's just on the players and Klopp and the coaching staff. I just feel like he just needs to come out of his comfort zone and do things he's never really done. And if it goes wrong, I think if it goes wrong as a fan base, we then won't get it in, because it's like you actually tried. We saw you were trying to better our situation, but the fact you're doing the same stuff that has got us here, we keep saying it. It's insanity, and I just think the small things will put us in better stead. Put it like that. That's my personal opinion.
Jerry, how do we move forward, man? How do we kind of move forward? I guess we can't keep thinking about the past. That's why I'm trying to like, all right, cool. It's already done, dusted now. I'm not. What can we do about what happened yesterday? We can only focus on, you know, moving forward. What do you think needs to happen within the squad with Jurgen Klopp and everything surrounding that?
It's the stuff on the pitch, man. It's the stuff on the pitch. It's the training. It's tactics. It's coaching. Things that have been. You know what? Now that I think of it, right, Klopp's actually had an easy ride, because the types of personnel and players he's had, he could easily. We knew the team. We knew the starting lineup. You told them to go out and play, and you just go out and play. You just go out and play. There was never any like real tactical nuance in games and stuff. Yes, he introduced a philosophy. Yes, he created a structure and an atmosphere for these players to be able to thrive. But it did get to the point where Liverpool was so good, it was just Virg, Salah, Alisson, everyone just play and do your roles. You know what you're doing. All it came down to really was motivation, wasn't it? It was the word spoken. How do you motivate these players for maybe the smaller games? Because it is difficult to obviously go on the runs that Liverpool have gone on. Obviously, it's easy to get up for the Man City games and the big games as we've seen this season. But to get up for the smaller games, we've been shocking. For me, he's got to go and like Liverpool have to reinvent themselves, but Klopp has to reinvent himself as well. I need to see Klopp changing tactics. I need to see better coaching. I need to see him for one of the first times ever go and create and develop a Harvey Elliott to the point of when we're looking at him like a Saka, like how Arsenal look at a Saka, because historically Klopp hasn't done well with that age bracket. It's always been between 24 and 28, 23 and 28, then 30 maybe, that kind of bracket. He's able to go and these players are already motivated. They've got a lot of experience. He's just able to go and kind of squeeze the most out of them. Is he able to go and develop a Carvalho? We're seeing now, yeah, Elliott's got the rubber, the green, and it's going well. Carvalho was one of our major signings last season. Where's he gone? That is not affecting games. He did earlier on in the season. Where is he now? I don't know. Are we saying, yeah?
He's playing like he can't even hear you.
I was saying, Romz, that's Romz's guy, man. Romz is gonna have to answer that question for
Yeah,
us.
he's trying
Like,
to
but
air it. He's trying to ignore it and air
it's
it.
fine.
But
It's fine.
Man's
and
like
that's
he's
why
frozen and
I
that.
gave the floor to him. But it's like
No.
all these types of players, like the fact that we've got like, cool, we the high line isn't working right now. Show me how you're going to adapt that. Show us. Is there someone in that? Obviously, we've put Bajcetic now. Is it going and playing Henderson as a right back in certain games and seeing like something crazy that's going to make us go, oh, you know what? You've reinvented a player and you've reinvented yourself as a result. We've done that with the likes of Trent when Trent came in, and because of his ability going forward, do it again. But now it's much more crucial because we're not looking at the fine margins and saying, oh, this is going to be the difference between winning the league and not winning the league because we're getting it into the top 4. Now it's got to be a massive jump. It's got to be from 10th to top 4. So if you're going to go and do that, the changes have to be drastic. Whether he's got the minerals to go and do that, you'd like to think so. There's no evidence to suggest he has done in the past. So I guess we're just going on what he's done previously. But you just said, forget about the past. So it's about what he's doing now. So we'll have to wait until the weekend, I guess, to see what happens, man.
Are we playing this weekend?
Wolves.
Yeah, Wolves got Wolves away.
I try not to look
that's-
at the fixture list.
Yeah.
That's the worst thing about it for me though. It's just like we can all see what's going on. Klopp's not be like he's actually there at the games. He's there every game. He's watching it. He hasn't got no one's got a better view than he has, so to say. And he's not doing anything different. But see, he's doing the same thing week in, week out. And I'll give him a slight blight because when he did try and change it, we went to the 4-2-4, 4-4-2, whatever. We got fucked with injuries in it. That's when Diaz and Jota both went out at the same time. So I was like, okay, cool. I see you're trying to do something. Didn't quite work. It was working, but injuries, whatever happened. But then you just went back and done exactly the same thing that happened before the injuries, and that wasn't working. So if you do something that's not working and you change it, don't go back to doing the thing that wasn't working before, because then I'm gonna look at you and think, are you okay? Are you actually all right in the head?
Comfort
Like,
zone, bro.
doesn't make any sense.
No, I agree. No, I totally agree, man. Obviously, we've got this to look forward to. Konate is facing up to 3 weeks out with a hamstring injury. He'll miss games against Wolves, Everton, Newcastle, potentially the Madrid game. But if he's missing the Wolves, Everton, Newcastle game, I don't know what the gap is between the Newcastle and Madrid game is. But for him to be back for that,
I'm not trying to chuck him in to go play against Vinny straight away.
Exactly.
After a hamstring injury, like no.
Because you know
Exactly.
what's annoying? Off the premise of this season, there's 4 players you wouldn't have wanted to get injured. For me, it's Alisson, Bajcetic, Konate, and Elliott. They're the 4. Let's have it right. And it's embarrassing to say, but if you're going to go off the last...
as well.
Exactly, bro. But if you're going to go off the last month or 2, well, you could say season, they've been our 4, I'd say, best performers. Especially if you're not just... Because I know it's easy to say, but Salah's still high. And you can't even say the metrics in general for our club, yes. But if you don't then start comparing them against other players for this particular season, it doesn't look all even glitz and glam for him. But they're the 4 players that you wouldn't especially right now. We know we're in the mud, but they're 4 players you wouldn't want to get injured. And Konate being our best centre back of the last month or 2, just seeing that news, my initial reaction was just to laugh. It's just like, can it get any worse? That I wasn't laughing because I was happy. It's just like, is this really what we're going through? That can't we catch a break?
It's that Joker feeling, isn't it? Like you're so clean, you're laughing just because you're crazy. Like, do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I'm looking at this and I'm thinking to myself, Liverpool squad have had 17 separate hamstring injuries just this season, meaning they've missed a total of 79 matches. Curtis, chat to me, man. Like, obviously, injuries are going to play a part in everyone's season. No one is exempt from injuries. Maybe us in 1920, maybe we were the only team to be exempt from injuries. But when you're looking at it now, are you putting the injuries at the top of, not the top, but are you putting it quite close to the top of your list of reasons why we're in the position we're in, at this current moment in time?
No, absolutely not. It's negligence right from the top to the manager, and that's spread through the squad to the medical team, it's spread through to the transfer team, it's through assistant coaches. It's negligence across the whole organisation. And I think if you say injuries, you're making excuses because your midfield's been relatively okay. You've lost your forwards, but just look across the pond. Man City lose players, and Chelsea lose players. Everybody loses players in football. They comes and roundabouts. Injuries are expected. I think that the thing is, G-Man, there needs to be an earthquake at this club. Something along them lines where something just, there's havoc and it needs to be such a big change where everybody feels it. Everybody, the fans, the players. Again, I'll never be Klopp out. My view is very much that earthquake has to be that the owners give, and we try with Klopp just because of how highly I rate him. But either way, something has to give this summer, and it either has to be ownership or it has to be management. And even if you say maybe no to Klopp, but Klopp has to do something where Linders goes or something goes, a statement has to be made, and it has to be, because dropping Henderson's not been big enough. You know, you've dropped your captain. It's not made that much noise. It needs to make so much noise where it's authoritative, it's things are changing, and I'm worried, man. I genuinely, you look across the pond of what's needed to compete. You look across the table, you're seeing Chelsea, you're seeing Arsenal, and you're seeing Man City, and you're thinking, off the pitch, we've not been able to compete like that for such a long time. And the biggest problem that's led us to here is these players have had no decent depth for the last 5 years to come on and be able to change games. And only last year they really had depth on the bench. So we've had to play these and run them dry, and they're dead. And they're just, it's not even in a bad way, they're just dead. And you need to reinvest that whole thing. And how do you do that in the summer? You know, you bring a new manager in, okay, he faces the same issues. You're still going to have to spend the same amount of money. So that's my thing with a new manager. You bring him in, he still has to do these with these players. These players' legs have gone.
The problem, the thing I've got, and the reason why, not to counter that, because I do agree, you would have the same issues, but you know, when you're talking about a shake-up, I think for the players, knowing that the one of the stable like entities within the club is gone, just like that, right? If FSG were to make a sacking like that, even if it was for a period and the manager might not go and be as successful, but I think that's something that causes havoc, because the havoc you're talking about, there's some fans that are going to be up in arms about it. It might motivate some fans to really take this FSG thing serious and go and strike and petition, get banners out like they did for Jix and Hillet. It's something that has to be momentous. I look at, for example, Salah, right? What I admire about the likes of your Mourinhos, your Fergusons and stuff, they would have been like, Salah, you can go then. They would have made that statement. Salah, we've won everything, but Salah, you're going. That would have been last summer. And that would have shaken everyone up, because everyone in that club would have thought, if Salah can go, then I mean, if they're forcing Salah out of the door, then anyone can get it. And it means that I've got to be on my A game. It doesn't matter how many posts Henderson makes and how many posts Robertson makes about we need to do better. They know intrinsically within themselves, they're starting no matter what. If it's a big game, if it's Real Madrid at Anfield, Tsimikas isn't playing over Robertson. Henderson's playing over Elliott. Do you know what I mean? Salah's always going to go and play. Virgil's always going to play. Alisson's always going to play. It just doesn't matter. They know that. So naturally, you become comfortable in your situation. Naturally become comfortable. Yes, it might go and, like you said, getting rid of a manager, the fact we have to go and reinvest in a squad, that may go and take time. But what that does is that this manager now, he's got more momentum because he feels full of life. He knows he's got a big task ahead of him. Klopp, even within himself, like we talk about the players being motivated. How do managers motivate themselves to keep going again and again and again? Yeah, there's some managers that are a bit cuckoo like that and they can go and do that. Klopp to me sounds like the person, like at any moment, like not to say he will, but I wouldn't be surprised if Klopp came out and said, you know what, at the end of the season, I'm walking away. Like, this is just too much for me. I've been in football for too long. I wouldn't see that from like a Mourinho just saying, you know what, I'm going to go and walk out. You have to sack him out of the job, regardless whether he's winning, losing, whether the team's getting relegated, because he's football upset. Like, it's just winning that matters to him. With Klopp, it's always more. It's always, no, there's more to life than football. There's more to this. There's more to life than just this game that we all love. So when you're thinking it from that perspective, I don't know. Like, I just agree with Kurdish. I think there needs to be a shake-up. I would start with Salah. Like, we're talking about this season now. Drop Salah. Drop Salah. We've signed you on 350k to go and deliver 20 plus goals a season. If you can't offer us 20 goals a season, then you're gone. And essentially, you're just gone. If I went,
let's just slow down.
See how G sets it up now.
But G, do it as you say that, right? But if I went and said to you, if you went and paid, next day delivery for something from Amazon, right? Yeah, you pay that extra £5 for that next day delivery, or you're paying that subscription fee for next day delivery. You're paying for Prime, and every time you order, it's not coming next day. It's coming 2 days after. At one point, you're like, well, this isn't worth it. I'm cancelling my subscription. Or you're going to go and make a complaint.
He has been shit for 365 days, G. Since last year, since last Jan, since he came out from AFCON, he has been shit. Today is the 1st of Feb. He's been poor.
Why do I feel like you guys are attacking me?
Other job,
don't get mad at me.
Any other job, you underperform for a year. Let me underperform my job for a month. My boss will be like, yo, what's going on? 1 year, this guy's been getting away with it. One whole year.
Hold on, Rom. Before you even say what you're gonna say, let me add in Monts. Let me add in Jamie as well. We might as well have this big old discussion then. All right, Romz, continue.
Because you've now added another Salah stan in Monts. But I'm proud of JJ because when I said a week ago, 2 weeks ago,
you got guys, by the way.
JJ, you said to me, I know you mean in general, like if he's not doing it, we need to send him. But you said to me 2 weeks ago, we're paying him the big bucks. You can't.
No. But this is what I'm saying is that I think there needs to be a statement made. But I'm saying that just then goes back to the structure of the club and saying, how can you drop someone that you're paying £350,000 a week for? Like, what does that doesn't make any sense. We were laughing at the likes of Arsenal and stuff when they were doing that. When Ozil weren't playing, when Aubameyang was getting dropped, when all these players are like, what are you doing? They're paying them all this money and you're just sitting there not doing anything. You can't maximize the most out of him. But it's like, there has to be a shake-up. And unfortunately, we didn't pay him 350 grand a week to deliver what he's been delivering since last January for a year now. We haven't paid him that money. We paid him. Yeah,
7 goals.
No, we've paid him to do what he was doing before that. So regardless whether you think that's ridiculous, regardless whether you think that now he's just gone back to kind of the mean and the average of what an average kind of a good just kind of wingers doing in any kind of league. So we looked at obviously Gnabry, Sane, all got kind of similar numbers in terms of like 6 goals, 7 goals, 8 goals, cool. But we didn't pay 350 grand a week for that. We paid 350 grand a week for that type of player. So if he's not delivering that for us, well, what is he doing then? And there has to be a shake-up. So maybe you drop him for 3 games in a row and you go and make a statement like that. Then you go and be like, because dropping the captain didn't work. You drop that main man, drop Verge, see what happens, because it doesn't matter at this point. At the end of the season,
that's what I was trying to say to you the other day, JJ. That what we've been doing hasn't been working. I think it's time, because I think if you put Elliot on that right, and this is where I've got to big up Monts, because Monts has been saying, you lot all know, I've gone back and forth with Jamie a few times, Monts a few times. I'm not Elliot's biggest fan, but I have to give fouls due. When you put him in his position, you saw it pre-season, you saw it in that Wolves game, he flourished. Why not drop Salah for a game or two and put Elliot there? And I'm all for it. And it got to the point a couple of weeks ago, like, not even just you, JJ, that you're paying him all this money, he's your talisman, you can't do that. But it's like, cool. But he's been continuing to play and been continuing to stink. Bro, if someone farts in the room and it stinks, are you staying there? You suffering in the fart, bro. You're not. So you're obviously going to walk away for a bit. Not saying you're not going to come back in the room, but you're going to walk away for a bit out of that room.
But do it is. And I know a lot of people are saying, but look, Salah starts, he's doing this. Like, big up to Dima. Dima saying, look, we paid him the money to deliver goals and assists. He's been doing that better than all wingers in Europe. Yeah, I agree. I agree. The stats wise, yes. Forget the performance. I'm not even going to talk about that. But we didn't pay him 350 grand a week to deliver those stats, though. It doesn't matter what. Forget what Next Man is doing. Forget what Hermes and that are doing. I'm paying that subscription for Amazon Prime. I want my next day delivery, bro. Same day, even. If I'm being promised same day and I'm paying you for that service and you're giving it to me the next day, but Hermes is giving it to me in 3 to 5 working days, it doesn't matter what they're doing. I'm talking to you about Prime. I'm talking about Salah. Salah, we didn't give him 350 grand a week to just to do better than every other winger in the league, even if the numbers are low. Unfortunately, it's not even about the numbers. We need you to go and be our talisman now. And I've said it before. When the chips are down, everyone said, you are our main guy now. I need to see LeBron-esque performances. I need to see you doing what Gerrard used to do back in the day, where you're grabbing the ball from halfway line, running through it and scoring a screamer to equalise against Fulham.
You know what
Like,
the rebuttal
I'm
is
going to
to-
need that from you.
Yeah,
I'm
let
gonna
me-
need
The
that from you.
rebuttal is to that. The
me
rebuttal is
jump
to that,
in.
but Salah's never done. Before you go,
Yeah.
the rebuttal to that is Salah's never done that though. That's never been his game. Well, now's the time. Like we're in the like
Yeah.
it has to come sometime. Sorry, Monts. Go on.
Big up Monts, by the way. Big up Jamie.
Big up,
Make
big
sure
up.
you guys are
Yeah.
heading over
Nice
to
one.
their channel as well to subscribe.
Big up,
Subscribe.
big up.
Subscribe. Thank you guys for joining. Monts, take the floor. Take the floor.
Uh,
Please say you got
before you go,
something
I've
nice
got
to
a-
say about Salah.
I got to
First
jump
of all-
off, man. Thank you for having me on, G boys.
Oh,
I'll
no,
catch
no,
you
no,
later.
no.
Yeah, man.
Nah, no worries, Curtis, man.
No worries.
Take
Big
it
up,
easy.
man.
First of all, should Salah be dropped? Yes. That's the first thing I'm going to say before I come with the other stuff. Remember, I said that's the first thing I said before the chat comes to me for the next thing that I'm about to say. Salah should be dropped. I'm making that clear. Has he ever been the talisman for Liverpool? In the first season, yeah. For the last 3 seasons, never consistently. Moments. He's had moments as a talisman. He's not been the guy that's to pull us out the gutter, game in, game out, Harry Kane-esque for Tottenham. It's never been that. Do you know why? Because we had so much more talent spread throughout the pitch, especially when the front three finally began to flourish as a cohesive unit. My next thing that I want to say is that, yes, Salah's performing not better than his GA is better than everyone in Europe, actually, not in the league. And that shows that a winger of his quality at his very, very worst is still statistically better than everyone else. So that's that. So at least if we're looking for the crack of positive, an inch of positive, there's that. His performances haven't been good enough, but we've all known that Salah's a system player that works in a flourishing system. So if the system breaks down, you're not going to see the same Salah. So I don't know why everyone is so infuriated at the fact that Salah's not our talisman and he's the main man to do everything. He's never been the guy to do that on his own. He needs Firmino, he needs Mane to become the best winger on the planet. It's always been that way. It's always been that way. On top of that, Salah was given the contract he deserved, but if Salah was to not get the contract, who else would have been given the big bucks? And that's a question. And someone just give me a short answer. I don't even want a long. Just give me a short answer so I can say what I want to say next. Who do we give the big contract to? Mane? Firmino? Let me know.
No. You spread that out through the team. You go and reinvest the same way we did with Coutinho.
So,
The same way we use the Coutinho money and we're able to strengthen the squad as a whole. I think you go and use that money to go and use that money for that you would get from him and the wage bracket to go and invest in the squad.
I would have gave it to our only world-class player, and that's Alisson.
I was going to say Alisson.
So
are we saying that Alisson is before we? I think Alisson is a top keeper. I'm not trying to say he isn't. Are we using this season as the measure to say that he is this keeper that is?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't really know about making
because I don't feel like he was world
Highest paid.
like. Yeah, like
and
I
then
feel
what
like
would have happened? Sorry, G. What would have happened if Salah or Mane didn't get that contract now? Do you see?
Yeah,
where
and this is what I'm saying.
I'm going with it. That's why I asked the question, because you look at it this way. You give Mane the contract and you sell Salah. Well, Mane's gone to a shitter league and is performing worse than Salah. People aren't looking at it, but he's performing worse than Salah. There's a reason you haven't heard Mane's name in a minute. There's a reason. Yeah? No one talks about that. So that's Mane's contract out the window. You give it to Firmino, who's too old. He's too old. He's slowed down. He's rest too much. He can still do what he can. Started the season well, but look at the injuries. It's there for us to see. Who does that leave? Virgil? Drop off already. Who does that leave? Who's it leave? So in terms of giving Salah the contract, that had to be done. There has to be a message sent that if you
he deserved it, so why wouldn't you?
But what I'm saying is, what I'm saying is, I agree based on he deserves it. Like in terms of what he's done previously, he deserves to be compensated for that, I guess, right? But let's just go back to it. He was being compensated because his bonus package was ridiculous. He was on about 400
but you know what I mean. Like,
but what I'm saying is
technicalities, though.
But what I'm saying is, when you're going and paying someone a contract for the future, right? If I'm contracting you for some work, for some acting work, I'm not only paying you for what you've done before, I'm paying you for what you're going to deliver. And if it's been a year now and you haven't delivered, right? And we've given you this contract, that's where the issue lies for me. Now, that's part of business. It's not to say that giving him 350 bag is wrong. Like within itself because Salah's not worth that. It's no. You have to go and as a club look at, all right, cool. Just like with the Mane situation, and I agree. Just like with Verge, do you go and give him that bumper contract knowing that he's not going to be able to go and fulfill the duties that you've attributed monetarily with that contract? So I'm looking at Salah, cool, you're on 350 bags, but I expect 350 bag performances. Like not even about goals and assists, performances. If I'm not getting that from you, there has to be a conversation surrounding that. Because in any other walk of life, it doesn't matter what you've done. It doesn't matter what you've done. Yes, you might be able to go and demand a higher fee. You still have to deliver the product.
Yeah, but
if you can't deliver the product, then what are we talking about?
But if you break down Mohamed Salah in his is this his 5th year? Is this year number 5? Or is it year number 4? It's year number 5, isn't it?
6. Joined in 17,
17, 18, 19, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. No, 21, 22. Yeah, this is season number 6. Yeah. I can only remember
he's been there for
18 months of performance and GA from Salah. So the whole of 17, 18, the absolute
and
whole of it,
of last season.
and the 6 months of last season. Yeah. So therefore, if you have a year and a half out of 5 years of ridiculous performance plus the GA he provides, why do we expect performance plus GA when he hasn't even done it for a quarter of his tenure at Liverpool?
No, but Monts.
We're
not asking for. We're not asking for.
This is what I'm saying, Monts.
No. But there's a difference. There's one.
Is the GA still there?
Just before you go, Ish.
Go on.
Just before you go, Ish. Yeah. Just before you go, it's Romz. Jerry mentioned it, and Romz, you've mentioned it as well. And Jerry, you just said it there. You expected LeBron. I'm like, but we never had LeBron. So why would you expect LeBron?
I hear that, G, because this is where I look at the club now, right? So the club have to go and look at when they're going and signing a player, right? You can go in when you're signing a player, you got to think about what's key and what's vital to the success of the team. Yeah, to the success of the team. Now, yes, goals and assists, yes, they are vital to the success of the team. But then there's the counter to that. It's also performance, right? So there's players that perform really well, might not get goals and assists, but they're very vital to the performance of the team. We see it with Virgil. We don't score enough goals from headers and stuff, but he's vital to the way the team perform when he's at his top. Liverpool had to look at that and be like, look, we've got one player that, yes, he's declining, and I'm not saying give him the contract. I'm not saying that at all, but we had Mane, right? That in terms of performance was probably more key to the point because of his role within the team, regardless of who you think is better. In terms of linking the defense, the attack, spreading the pass, linking all that play. And then you had the person that gets the goals and assists, right?
Yeah, I agree.
Cool.
I agree.
The club had a decision to go and make. Do we invest the money in, forget about Salah and Mane, do we invest the money that we're going to spend over the course of this contract and the money that we could potentially make on a sale on bringing someone in that's going to either benefit the team's overall performance, or do we go on someone that's going to go and get us goals and assists but won't affect the team's performance, but will be there in the right times to get the goals and assists? And now when you're looking at it, it's been a failure because in this period right now, we don't necessarily, we're still scoring goals. We're still in like 5th, I think it is, in the league for goals scored. So that's not an issue at all. It's not. Yeah. It's defensively. It's in transition. It's the midfield. Now you look at it, and when Coutinho was he wasn't a massive goal and assist merchant, but he was key to how the team performed, right? But what did they go and do? We had already signed Salah, we had Mane, and they said, you know what? We need to go and benefit the team's performance in a way. So we need to make ourselves defensively more solid, right? While still being this attacking prowess. What are we going to do? We're going to strengthen the spine of the team. Virgil comes in, Alisson comes in, Fabinho comes in. That then benefits the team, right? What we did with Salah is we've given him someone, yes, that because of his performances, yeah, he's deserved that contract. But he's also got to fulfill the demands of that contract, which means that now that you're the main guy and you're talking by 100 and we're talking about he's trumping like Verge, nearly double what Verge is on. Right? Yeah. Verge is on 180, he's on 350, or 200, he's on 350, right?
Yeah.
You need to go and show me now that why you're that player. It's like in basketball. If you're getting that max contract, you've got to be that max contract player. You don't give the max contract to a player that's only going to give you output. That's my problem with it. It's not about who do we give that contract to, because then that goes back onto the club. The club then have to do what they've done before, and you've got to find the players. You've got to scout. That's when you've got to use all your resources, all your world-class resources, to go and find someone that's going to be able to affect the performance of the team.
All right,
not just numbers.
I've got a direct counter to that. If it's the club's fault for giving him the money, then isn't it the club's fault for going and getting a striker that doesn't compliment him? You said you want to benefit the team.
It is. No, it is. It is. But that's not a counter.
We've not just lost Mane, because I think Mane and Salah complemented each other. We all know now that it's not just Salah missing Mane. It's Mane. It's both of them. They both complement each other.
It's nothing to do with Mane.
Huh?
Nothing to do with Mane.
Now, if Mane goes, rather
Bobby.
than, I know we had Diaz, but just leave Diaz for the side for a second. We have gone and got a 9 that is completely different to how Salah plays. If you're going to put a man on the big bucks, you play to his strengths and only his strengths, because you no longer have the counterpart in Mane to play to his strengths or to make the team tick. So, therefore, it probably would make sense if they went on. And this is why my anguish towards my mistake is probably it shouldn't even been towards Nunes. It's towards Klopp for going and advocating for Nunes.
But that's my point. But that's my point. It goes back to my point, right? Who was advocating for the contracts for the Salah contract? Who pushed for that Salah contract? It was Klopp. Michael Edwards saying no. It's your mute, by the way.
Not only Salah. Hendo got 4 years as well. Like, it's Klopp who's actually. A lot of these players that we're talking about.
Didn't a report come out recently that within the club people weren't really for the Hendo thing, and Klopp was
but that's what I'm saying.
He would have got some decent money. He would have gone to PSG. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. But that's the problem with it. And that's the problem with it, is that the club as a whole, and it's including Klopp, and this is where I've got my problems with it, is that you've gone and tactically you haven't actually gone and seen, you know what? This dynamic's not going to work. It's like Russell Westbrook worked really well with KD. Having Russell Westbrook right now is not going to work. And I know people that aren't into basketball know what I'm talking about. But it's like going and getting flipping Weghorst and then accompanying a Weghorst with another like Lukaku. It's just not going to. The dynamic's not the same. You need a big man and a little man, right?
Like Gakpo and Nunes.
Exactly. So we've gone in and with the money that we've had, regardless whether you think it's been enough investment or not.
By the way, sorry.
It's spent so poorly. We spent it so
whether
poorly.
we've had enough investment or not, we had 60 million. If people want to be really calm, 60 million on Nunes. That's rising to 80 million, depending on this thing. And you have Gakpo for like 45, right?
100.
Those two players, that's equating to like 90 million. 80, 90 million, depending on what figure you want to go and use. Why haven't you used those funds to go and strengthen the team as you did before when you got rid of Coutinho? We didn't lose Coutinho and then go sign a Nunes. We went to strengthen the defense and the goalkeeping position.
Yeah.
So why have we done the same and said, you know what, or forget that? You want a Nunes? You want to change the way you play? Cool, get the Nunes. But guess what? You got to get rid of that brother as well, because it's not going to work.
It's an obvious contradiction. It is just a massive contradiction. By the way, Any made a comment saying that Salah's been his best when he's played next to Nunes. False when he's been next to Firmino. But I understand.
Yeah, Bobby's the man. Bob, look, Mo Salah is shit when Bobby don't play. It's just a fact, right? He's tried to do it with Jota. It don't quite work. Bobby Firmino is still the anchor of this Liverpool attack, and he always will be if we play this way that Klopp wants to play. We bought Darwin Núñez. Darwin Núñez don't work as a striker because Darwin Núñez likes to play with a striker that's good with their back to goal, right? That he can play off, right? That is why I think the future, what Klopp's trying to do, right or wrong, is that I think we're eventually going to go to a two up top with Gakpo and Darwin as the partnership. Right? Because and the reason I say this, think about it, guys.
Stinks.
Sean Jack's on the wrong side. Is he on the wrong side of Merseyside?
I'm not telling you right, yeah. Look at the guys. Look at
Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin. Is that what we're doing?
Guys, look at the evidence. Look at the evidence at hand, yeah. Look at the evidence at hand, yeah. Gakpo has only played centre forward for Liverpool. He's played when Oxlade-Chamberlain played left wing instead of Gakpo. Harvey Elliott's played 2 games in a row left wing instead of Gakpo. When Darwin came on the other day, Darwin went left wing. But he wants somebody to do the Bobby role. He wants that false 9 player. He said it himself in his interview the other day. He wants a connector between striker and midfield.
But Jamie,
and that's what he wants.
But Jamie, in world football, but Jamie, in world football,
what Jamie saying
right?
in lineup?
No, he's not. But listen, in world football, right? In world football, Ja Felix and Nkunku, Griezmann. There's so many players.
We turned down Nkunku. Apparently, we turned down Nkunku. We said he was there for 60 million or however much Chelsea got for.
And we for you, Rom.
Livo said, "I don't want a guy who can do the Bobby thing. I want to go and get this other
number 9." And then you go back to playing him on the left wing.
It's because
maybe is that because he saw what Jota could do as more of a natural 9. The way
Jota's not very good.
Jota was playing like a natural 9 rather than a connector, and it was still working. But that's because we had Mane. Not because we had a natural 9.
Exactly.
The problem with Mo as well. The problem with Mo as well. It's like with Mo's new song. It's Mo Salah walking down the wing now, ain't it? The man don't move, yeah. The man don't move, right? And
you're not disrespecting Mo.
Mo is now. He likes ball to feet now. Mo don't spin a man no more. He likes to come ball to feet. Mo likes to back into people, yeah. No, he thinks this is like a 1980s porn. He's backing into people all the time, man. Right? He's on the
porn. Are you watching in 1980s? That back
some real good shit. I'll send you it later. Right? And it's just backing in, man. The man thinks he can run through people like he's Moses. Right? It's fucking nuts. You've got to create space for Mo. And I think Klopp's looking at it. The problem with Gakpo playing in the middle, yeah? Mo is not running past him. This is a problem. That's why when Darwin comes on the left, Darwin runs past him. Mo is with him. He's not running past him. And that's what Klopp wants, right? And that's
But Jamie, that's fine then. But then it goes back to the manager. If he's telling Salah, you know what, bun what you're doing here. It's either he's telling Salah, come short to the ball, that's fine, just do your thing. Or he's telling him, running behind, we need you to go and make space and create space.
That's what Linda said. That's what Linda said. He wants him to come shorter. Isn't that what Linda said?
That's what they want him to do now. This is
Linda said that.
So then it goes to the management. It just goes to the management again. We're talking about the tactics on and off the pitch. We're talking about coaching. That's just poor coaching then.
Because I watched something, and Romz is gonna like this, and this is gonna. I don't even want to say that.
Go on, I'm ready for this.
Can we lock off the stream and I can say it and then we can start the stream again? Is there any way we can do this? No, it's fine. I'll say it anyway.
Don't worry. I've got the end button ready to go anyway because you lot chatting shit right now. But go on.
Arteta was coaching natural wing play.
Romz, yes.
I'm not gonna act like Arteta was the man to invent this because I'll be honest, Robbo and Trent were doing this for like 3 years before Arteta was probably still an Arsenal shirt when Robbo was doing this. And when the wing backs get the ball, they weren't playing the ball down the line. They were playing it infield. The ball was coming from outside to either Firmino, but more often than not, Mane and Salah. And what that was doing was, it wasn't so Salah gets the ball with his back to goal and then he has to whine on his man and then turn him. That wasn't, it was, he's getting the ball side on so he can now, he's face up with his attacker. Same with Mane, face up with attacker. Sometimes Mane would be more back to goal because he was better at it. He was a lot better at it with his back to goal. But for Salah, it was, how many times have you seen Trent? Like he's faint to play it down the line, but then he fizzes it. Salah drifts in and he fizzes it to Salah. That ball used to get everyone. It used to get, you name it. Whether it was fucking prime anyone, it would get everyone. Now
and it would cut out about 3 or 4 men as well.
It did that one pass, and if it went to, this is just tactically speaking, if it went to Firmino, then it's going back out to Salah, and now he's 1-on-1. Or if it comes to Salah, he's cutting inside, and now he's got Mane and Salah to do whatever he wants to do. Whatever happens now. It's the front three. It's danger. It's dangerous hours, scary hours for the opposition. Now with this new Pep Linders thing, maybe again. don't want to go back to Nunes because it can be. Don't want to go back to that. But Salah is now on this touchline, receiving the ball with his back to goal every time, and he's either passing it square to the centre mid, or he's passing it back to Trent. And what's happening is Salah's not getting enough opportunities face up with his wing back. So, and what I know about Salah is that he's never been Eden Hazard, where he only needs 2 times to run at you before he's going to sit you down. He needs 4, 5, 6.
Well, yeah, take it.
He needs 4, 5, 6. He needs to go at you, go at you, go at you, go at you, and then then you'll see what he can do. But if that's only going to happen 2 times a game, just like his shooting, if he's only going to get 2 of those a game, he's going to look like Gineppo, bro, and that's disrespect to Gineppo, bro. So now so what I mean by that is that with Salah's, I don't know, his consistency, let's say, he's never been the one chance, one guy winger, and we're not playing to that. And maybe, as again, Linders did say he wanted him to be this touchline winger to create the most chances, and statistically, he actually is creating the most chances. But that's not doing.
But that's my point. But this is my point: is that I don't see FSG, Klopp, or whoever giving that amount of money with that contract to someone that, we scored goals before, but they can only go and get the goals. Like when you go and see the players that get those contracts, when you see the players that go and get those contracts, they can do everything. They can do everything.
No, but you're okay, cool. If
the contract
we're
they
saying
gave him
that,
because of his commercial presence, that's why he got the contract.
I can probably think that, but you also got to realize at the end of the day, it's almost that, like, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Like, he was already doing every like Monts said, I agree, and I have to agree. He's only probably had 18 months out of 6 years. So to expect anything crazy, I definitely was not expecting. I was expecting better. I was expecting better than what he's doing now, 100%. I'm not saying that I wasn't expecting. To be honest, I was just more expecting more goals and more assists. And in the terms of performance-wise, I was expecting the more or less the same performances that we're kind of seeing now. We've seen it.
He's Liverpool's Ronaldo.
But this is what I'm saying. But that's not on us as fans to go and determine whether someone can do something or not. I agree with that. I've had arguments with me and Monts. I've had debates where we're talking about who was more important, Salah or Mane, and I've expressed my reasons as to why. I agree. They both complement each other. And I've said why I think Mane was more important to the general system of Liverpool. I've said it. But that's on the club. The club have said, sack the person who's more important to the system. Hence why when you look at it, change of position, what happened to the end of the season? He's probably our best attacker. Playing as a false 9, right? Playing in that centre. Mane.
So you think listen.
Salah was more reliant on the system.
Yes, but this is my point. But when you're looking at Salah now, right? The club have said we're going to give you 350 bags. They've already thought about that. You think Linders, Klopp, and the management haven't sat down and said, you know what, next season we're going to get Nunes, right? That's looking like it's done. We're going to probably get rid of Mane because he wanted to leave already the summer before. So we know he wanted to leave. So we've got Diaz in, cool. We're going to play Diaz. But what we're going to do with Salah is that we're going to go and do this with him. What, do you think he can do that? Yeah, I mean, Salah's world class. I mean, of course he can do it. Look what he does. That's the way they've looked at it. But it hasn't worked out. So I look at the management then. It's like, it's like if they went and played Mane up front and then Mane didn't work up front, or when they go and play Carvalho left wing, or they played him in centre mid and it doesn't work. Yeah, you blame the player, cool. But you've got to look at the management. The management have sat down, they've made the signings, as Monts said, they've signed Nunes, they signed the Nunes profile type of player, and said Salah can do the role that they're asking him to do. And we're going to give him this contract. Yes, based on commercial reasons, based on what he's done in the past, but also because of what he can go and provide going forward. But that's what he's going to go and provide. We want him to do everything now. We need him to be the link man, the creator, go out wide, draw his man out, come inside, get up, chip in with goals and assists, like a prime Hazard would do, like a Neymar does at PSG. But he hasn't been able to do it for one reason or another. That then goes back to a failure of the team, of FSG and the management.
And you know
because they've looked at it and said, he can do that.
Exactly, and you're right. And you
big
know,
up Endz, by the way.
Big up.
You know, like,
he set him up for failure.
Yeah, and
but this is
the thing is, we bought a striker. We spent 65 million buying a striker in the summer who can't play as a lone striker. Darwin can't play with his back to goal. He can't play that lone striker role. Darwin needs to play off a man, yeah? And I think they realised that once they got him, and that's why he plays left wing. Then they went and got Gakpo in, right? And everyone who's watched Gakpo for his whole career, from youth team to PSV's first team, left winger. Liverpool get him and see that thing in. Klopp sees something else. He's saying, there's a connector there. I don't think Klopp wants to go away from this false nine thing. Because if you notice, everyone he plays centrally plays the false nine role. Jota plays it. Bobby plays it perfectly, obviously. And now Gakpo, who's been a left winger his whole club career, is all of a sudden this number 9, this false number 9. And I don't think Klopp wants to go away from it. And now he's got Darwin. And I've been saying this on my channel since we signed Darwin. I think Klopp and Pep Linders looked at Darwin's I said this to G. I've looked at his attributes of pace, movement, and athleticism, and see him as playing either left, right, through the middle, anywhere like that, but not the out-and-out striker everyone thought we bought him to be. And the proof's in the pudding. What are we watching right now? The bloke we bought from Holland in January is playing central, and the Uruguayan geezer we bought from Benfica is playing on the left, and he's doing the central, and he's doing the false nine thing. I mean, no one's like it's. We're literally seeing it week in, week out. He's playing Harvey Elliott out of position to keep Gakpo in that central area. No wonder. And look, Mo's getting away with it. Mo, I don't think like that one-on-one miss from Mo against Brighton in the FA Cup was criminal, right? And I've heard no one mention it, right? It was criminal, absolute criminal miss. Harvey Elliott, beautiful ball by him. And that miss from Salah was criminal. Should never be doing that. That should be a goal every time. Right? And he's getting away with it at the moment, Mo. But the reason he's getting away with it, because Mo's got such a back catalogue of 20 plus a season, we let him get away with it and he's getting an easy time. Mo Salah's never been put under pressure in a Liverpool shirt either. He's
I agree with
always guaranteed. Right? The man can put in stinker after stinker after stinker, and he knows next week he's going to play. It's a bit like Robbo. When Robbo started putting stinkers, he was playing. As soon as Simicast come in, took his spot, Robbo had to up his game. You know, and then he took his spot for a while. And I think Mo needs that. I think Mo just needs to kick up the arse.
Yeah.
That's all he needs.
I want to big up everyone on their panel. Smash the nuts. I've got a dip now. But yeah.
No, that's all good, bro. No, love for joining in again, bro. Guys, make sure Romz's Twitter, Instagram is in the description. So make sure you guys go and follow him. Look, I'm hearing like I've allowed you guys to slander Salah for the last like 27 minutes, you know, and I've kept quiet. I said, you know, I'm going to let everyone say their piece because the reality is what you guys are saying, it's true. I can't even defend that. Jamie, what you just said there at the end in regards to Salah's position obviously never being under threat, I totally agree with, because I've even been saying we need to get another winger who can at least just come on for Salah when he's not playing well and etc. Just like any team, you'd want that. You can't just have one guy. We're not PSG where you can keep the main dons on the pitch and just pray they're going to do something. Sometimes you do need to have that option, and even they've got options on the bench as well. So I agree with that. But the reality is this. Even if he only provides, and I hear what you're saying, Jerry, because yes, in basketball terms, you're not going to just look at the guy who's just going to provide the output. You kind of need a two-way, three-way player if you can kind of get these kind of guys. But when you're looking at someone like Salah, when the system, and again, this is for everybody in the team, when the system is working right, you take Salah over Mane every day. Mane he'll be Mane. He's still going to do his thing. He still might get a goal here and there and blah, blah, blah. And I get that. But when the system is right, which it hasn't been all season, you're seeing it. The key players in the team, when the system isn't right, so Virgil van Dijk, Fabinho, Hendo, Salah, 4 key players that we have in this team, even Alisson to a certain degree. When the system isn't correct, you're seeing it. You're literally seeing it that the key players in the team are not performing well.
But G, what we've done, but what we've done is, yes, in terms of going and getting the goals, yes, I agree. But who was more crucial to the system? Who was the press? Who was the press trigger? Who went and won the ball back? Who went and linked up the play with the midfield? It's always we've done the same thing. And the thing is, we've done the same thing. It's not about him as a player. It's that type of player. Liverpool have let someone like that go and have not replaced that. The same thing with Genie. It's the same thing with Genie. Someone that plays 38 games a season, right? He's integral to the system of the team. So for Salah to do well, the system has to do well. But what you've done is you've sacrificed the system and you've made Salah the system. And if you've paid him that money and said, Salah, you are now our system, you need to go and I need to see the reward.
Okay. So, if we're then gonna go on,
how can you make Salah the system when the system is broken down by buying a 9 and you've let go of the other guy that made that?
That's my point, Romz.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's my point. So what have the club done? But what have the club done then? Because you've sacrificed now.
So we're looking at the club. Okay.
If you said it that way, Jay, I don't want to be that guy, but if you put it that way, then Salah's created the most chances. But it's stupid because it's amounting to nothing. He's created the most chances. He's doing what they're telling him then, if you want to put it that way. But it's not working. And that's, again, that's management. Like you said, to be fair, Jim, like you said, management. But this is
what I'm saying. Sorry, go on, then. Go on.
No, because I've been listening to you guys. I'm sorry I'm late, by the way. I fell asleep.
No, it's all blessed, man.
Crazy thing. But I've been listening to you guys backstage. I've been listening to you guys offline. You guys are moaning about the contract that he's on at the moment, but you guys have to remember he was given the contract based on what he did, not what he's going to do. So I get we can moan he's on 350 and all that, but he deserved the 350, bro. He was our top player for 5 years.
But that's my problem. But that's what I agree. Yes, it was partly based on his commercial value, partly based on what he's done, of course, on your previous work. Yeah. But a contract is also based on what you're going to deliver. It's not just based on, if everyone just got based on what they've done, then the Henderson contract.
But that's the difference. I agree with you at some point, but at the same time, you don't get a promotion based on what you're going to do. It's what you already previously done.
No,
so he got a promotion on his wages based on what he did. No, not what he's going to do.
I'm telling you now, as someone yes, you go and based on what you've done, but it's also you being able to do what you've done at a higher level in that next role. If you're not going to be able to go and do, no one's giving you money just like, have some peas. You bust me, so safe. No one's saying that. So if we look at it like that, then the Henderson contract that people are complaining about, don't slander that, because based on what he's done, he deserved it. And so did everyone else. So did Milner. So did anyone else that got a contract extension. They've deserved it because of what they've done. But it's not only about what you've done. It's about what you're going to bring to the table in the future. It's not just a one-off payment. It's not a bonus. It's a contract.
I get that, but at the same time, obviously, they gave him the contract based on what they think he was going to do, expect what he was going to do. But at the same time, you took away the Mane, you changed the whole system, you asked him to play in a different role. So, of course, he's not going to do everything that you want him to do. If you're going to change the whole system, change his role, and then get rid of players that he links very well with. You can't change the whole front three, leave him on there and expect the same outputs that he was given.
I agree. No, but I agree. But then that goes back to the business, isn't it? It's like if I'm running a logistics business, and I've looked at G in the warehouse and I've said, you know what, I think he could be the manager, but he could be the manager of that next warehouse over there. But he was just some low level kind of supervisor, right? Yeah, I'll give him a bumper contract and I'll give him all this P and stuff, but he's going to have to go, and this role's going to be completely different. But I still expect top performance. I expect him to be able to go and perform.
But what? Okay, hold on. Okay, stop that.
If I signed you, sorry, G, and if I went and signed you for that contract, and I said cool, and then it's failed, yes, that's the club. That's the business's fault. The business is full. The business have gone and they've put you in that position, and you have not been able to go and fulfill that role. That's any line of work.
So we'll use that context then, and I think that's a good kind of way. You're saying, cool, you got a business. I'm the supervisor of this warehouse A, but you want me to go to warehouse B. You're going to give me the bumper contract to work in warehouse B, and you're expecting the more or less the same results I was doing in warehouse A. You're expecting that plus more in warehouse B, even though in warehouse B I've got no real experience. I'm not working with the team that I've usually worked with before, meaning that my performances are now going to be dictated by really just what I can actually bring to that table anyway. So if whatever I myself can bring to the table is, say, up to a certain level, how do you then expect me to then push past that when I was working fantastically in warehouse A with, say, Ish and Monts, but then now you've put me over here in warehouse B with say Endz and Jamie, how do you then expect me to? How do you
but
expect
that's
the
my-
same
We're
to
not
get
the
the result?
downgrade.
Listen, I was about to say, I'll get
I'm
more
not saying you guys are
No,
downgrade.
they're the upgrade. I'm the downgrade. You're what? I'm the
Definitely
upgrade.
here, it was actually easy to do.
Hey, listen, I would have got him more goals, bro.
That's my point. But that's my point. You've now given parameters as to why something won't happen, right? So when you're making a contract and you're making decisions like that, you go and make those.
So
are
are we
things that come
blaming?
into your
Okay,
mind.
cool. So are you blaming then? You can't then really look at Salah because if we're looking at Salah
I haven't
alone,
said
he's
Salah.
doing fine. He's doing absolutely fine.
No, I haven't said no. He's not doing fine because he's not performing. Regardless of whether you think about goals and assists, his performance hasn't been up to par.
But he's doing his job. But he's doing the job that you.
Yeah. He's doing the job that they're telling him to, but he can't go and do the job. So that's why I go back to FSG and Klopp and Linders. This is what I keep saying. This is what I keep saying.
I don't
This
think
is what
you
I
can
keep
blame
saying.
the unders though, Jerry, bro. I think it's more Klopp.
In their deluded
Yeah,
eyes,
this one's
in
on
their
Klopp.
blind
This one's on
eyes,
Klopp.
he's creating
No,
chances
but
and
for them
he's-
to allow them to have the contract, that's what I'm saying. Like, I agree, and like it is Klopp because you're doing this, you're the manager. But it's the business as a whole because you've also decided and you've okayed it. It's like if I'm the top CEO and I'm delegating G to go and do the role. At the end of the day, I'm the one whose neck is on the line. If Klopp goes and tells Linders to go and run the session, but the session's dead and they don't prepare well for the next game, Linders isn't the one getting the sack. It's going to be Klopp. That's just how life works. Like you have a chain of command. So when I'm looking at it, it's like cool. I hear that, but you've also gone and given him that contract. So the same way I berate the club, not even berate the club, but I criticize and I critique the club for going and giving Henderson a contract and not moving him on, giving Milner a contract and not moving him on, giving Gomez a contract and not moving him on. Wink, Endz Man, yeah. But do you know what I mean? But all those players, the way I look at them, I criticize the same thing because what you've shown previously is that you didn't go and try give Coutinho a mad bumper contract to stay at Liverpool, which I guarantee if you went and chucked 350 million in him, he probably stays at Liverpool because he wasn't getting that at Barca. I'm telling you that for a fact. But Liverpool said, you know what, we're going to reinvest that money into going and buying the correct players to go and help that system be better. That's the way I'm looking at it.
I think it's a different example of. Go on, Jamie.
Go on, Jamie.
I was just going to say, all I was going to say is, how long do we go on numbers for and stats? Because you look at Ronaldo at Man United, yeah? Top goal scorer for Man United last season. Manager didn't want him. New manager didn't want him. And you can argue now, even Man United fans say they're a better team without him.
Yep.
So how long do we go on stats for? Because we're going on stats, yeah? If we're going on stats for Salah this season, okay, he's got the same amount of Premier League goals as Bobby Firmino. Right? If we're going on stats, Bobby's hardly played this season, and they got the same amount of goals. And I think almost
Salah's
the same
the
assists.
second most amount of big chances.
And-
After who?
After Darwin Nunes.
But can I ask you,
on that crazy thing, by the way, is, he's equal second on that list as well.
Haaland, but he's still bagging.
Haaland.
He's still bagging.
No, but when did we start drawing for
Stats don't matter,
big
mate.
chance misses though? That was never a thing when
But these technicalities get added when players are so good. We have to find cracks in the game.
But this is madness because we can't just be beating up the guys for now these created stats that these guys are bringing up now.
Because there's
But this is
I
what
feel
I'm
like
saying.
big chances
Like,
missed.
these
No,
stats
I
seem
feel
to
like
just
big
get
chances
plucked
missed.
from
Big chances missed. That's a
space,
valid
like.
stat though.
Yeah, but
That's a
that was
valid
never
stat.
a thing.
No, but it
When
wasn't
did
a
we start
stat. Man, I wasn't talking about this last season or the season before that. Everyone's more concerned with Salah just scoring goals. No one had an issue with Salah stinking up the place.
People
when he was
miss
scoring goals.
chances on a day-to-day. I know Salah has always been a 1 in 3 kind of guy, but top strikers miss chances. When did it start becoming a thing? What, just because Nunes joined the league and the 2 Liverpool guys are there?
That's what it seems like. That's what it seems like, to be fair.
It's well because Mane, if you remember, prime Mane missed as much as Salah did. They've all been like that.
Mane used to miss
Mane just wasn't as
Get
clinical
started
as
on
a Salah, but maybe just didn't get the chance.
Started on Bobby's misses, where he used to love the inside of the
Yeah,
post.
but his misses were disgusting. Man.
Like,
Someone hit both posts and it was.
man used to. Who remembers in the was it the Super Cup where he chested it over, man, and he volleyed it into the ground inside of the post? or against?
Yeah, we've had some.
But you see, when you're still chopping, and you're still top of the goal scoring charts, then it's fine. You can miss chances. But when you're ninth and you wanted to try and figure out why you're ninth in the league, then I do feel like big chances missed is very like. Especially when you've got one. But especially when you've got 1 and 2. You've got 1 and 2 in the list. That's mad. That is crazy.
But okay, cool. But but that would only look mad because Nunes is such a big draw out in terms of his amount of missed chances that he's having. Salah is having the same missed chances probably he's always been having. The difference is Salah's got more goals than everyone in the entire team. So we're still looking at Salah for our main goals. Like this season, Salah will end top goal scorer. I'm not saying just look at the stats because I agree the performances haven't really been matching it, and he has had too many games where he's just gone non-existent. I fully agree with that. And I understand, yes, for the team at times, you don't need that because if you're just going to be standing there all game, getting marked out of a game by some left back that we haven't heard about, then of course it's going to look a bit weird. But then on the flip side, what I keep saying is he's still producing the goods that I need him to produce. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Is he though? Is he though? It's 7 goals and 19 games. What do you expect? Bro, man's got 7 goals
in terms of his output. In terms of his output, he's the top scorer in this team. So
forget the team. I'm looking at you.
But this is my point.
Is number one earner. Sorry, JJ. Just want to say, is 7 goals in 19 games a good return for World Cup? That's all.
We don't just play one competition. He's got how many goals in the Champions League? How many goals in the
Premier is better than bread and butter. Let's be honest. That's where our problems are really lying at the moment. We're 9th in the league. Is 7 goals in 19 games a good return?
For a winger,
not for a winger. No.
For a winger.
Not for a winger.
We can't look at how Endz, but he's not just a winger. We're giving him 300 full bags. He's the main guy. He's a talisman now.
Okay, cool. But there's a lot of teams in the Premier League play with a front three, and he's top goal scorer compared to them, man, and he plays on the wing. So for a winger, yes, he's doing what he needs. Can we not judge the other team and say these men have dropped off? And
he's our goal scorer.
He's our goal scorer. You've got to look at who gets the most goals.
I get that, but with the new contract, man, them are telling him that he needs to hang wide.
That seems to be like we're blaming Salah and not the system again. That's why me and G are back scared because now the consensus looks like it's Salah's fault.
And I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense. It can't be Salah's fault.
No. But then I need to not rate him as much then, because if you're telling me, that because of the type of play,
18 months all-round game, though, Jerry.
I know you've said that, but I'm saying me personally, then I need to not rate him as much as I was rating him. I need to go and put him in the bracket. Yeah, you're just a goal scoring winger, but we need the main man though. You're that guy. You get us the numbers, cool. But we need a main guy. We need the guy to go in and because what you're suggesting to me.
Yeah, I'm saying he can do that. Every player, a winger with everything, but he needs certain things to work for him to do that. And that's what I said. Maybe you're rating him too high to think that he can.
Maybe I am. That's what I'm saying.
He can do the everyman thing, no matter what system he plays. That's not really the thing. It's more of a hope thing. I think that what we haven't mentioned is that systematical error of not having goal-scoring midfielders. Because do you know when we saw the best Salah? When Coutinho was actually there.
Big facts.
That was the best Salah. That was better than the Salah we had for 6 months. That 17-18 was and to be fair, yes, I'm not going to lie. He did continue his ridiculous form when Coutinho left. Yes, of course. But Salah was almost, when we say he's only kind of been our talisman, maybe, He'll have moments. I would never say he's been the talisman. He's had moments. And his talismanic moments, if you want to say it like that, have come when Coutinho was there. And what we don't have anymore is goal-scoring wingers. Season in, season out, our midfield accumulate about 7 goals between them. Henderson will chip in with 1. Naby will chip in with 2. And who's the other one? Fabinho. He got 6 that 1 year. Abnormally,
from pens, yeah.
That's where I was an anomaly. But usually the midfielders don't chip in. The only goal scoring midfielders we've ever had in the last 5 years is Oxlade-Chamberlain when he was fit, Philip Coutinho, and Wijnaldum at home. I stress at home. I stress that very highly at Anfield. Yeah, when your attackers are when one's getting 10 to 15, one's getting 25 to 30, and the other one's getting 15 to 20, you don't need goal scoring midfielders. But when you jingle and jumbo the system and you brought in a guy who's young, who still needs time to embed in the squad in Nunes, and you brought in Diaz, who, yes, he was a goal scorer in a shit league, but he's never been the guy to get Mane's numbers. Let's just get that one straight. You then have to look at, well, where are the goals going to come from? Because now you're relying on Salah, which they shouldn't do, because, again, it's moments with him. So you then have to look at goal scorers. When Man City's front three don't score goals, when De Bruyne and them man aren't scoring, I'm talking about false nine De Bruyne. Bernardo and them man are chipping in. Gundogan's chipping in. The man, that's one thing we haven't spoken about. The midfielders are chipping in. When the chips are down and
So you don't realise it as much.
Salah's ain't bagging, Diaz ain't bagging, you know what I'm saying? You look to the centre mids. You look for the extra run, the extra man that doesn't get picked up in the box. But we don't do that. We've never done that. It's like we sold the only man that's done that. And the next guy who was next best at it, we didn't offer him a contract and we sold him. He's now got an ACL and we haven't replaced him since. Do you know what I mean? So it's just systematical bullshit. That's why I don't ever argue with anyone who wants to hire up, he wants everyone out. I don't argue. I'm nearly there myself. I just don't argue with it because
I'm ready for every like I said at the beginning of the show. On the pitch, off the pitch, boardroom, I'd want it all to change. And all of it.
Every type of goal we could score. Set piece, penalty merchants, flipping long range goals, inside the box, stinky deflected goals. When Mane used to just fall over and kick the ball and sometimes go in. Yeah. Any type of goal, we could score those goals. I promise you.
So I'll ask you guys this then, yeah. We'll end. We're gonna end it on this, yeah. Well, no, I'm gonna end on two things actually. Everyone in the chat as well. Would you sell Salah in the summer then?
If we don't,
I'll ask you all that.
If we
don't get new owners,
if we don't get a connector, yes. If we do get a connector, or if let's say Gakpo,
so we still need to buy another striker.
Yeah. No. Listen.
How many?
No. I'm in agreement. I hear
players can be molded, bro. If Gakpo can turn into a connector, bro, then keep Salah, bro. Keep him. But if I see nothing from Gakpo, like there's no indication, and let's say Firmino is slowing down and is fit, then I don't know, innit? Like I guess we got Jota can do it. Jota's looked better, but we need a connector for Salah to be Salah. But if we do sell Salah, it's the same argument with Klopp. Who'd you get? So I don't know. So I'd say if we have a connector, keep him. If we don't have a connector, it might be difficult. But
Gary, Ish, and are you selling Salah?
To me, it just sounds mad that we need to bring someone in to facilitate a guy who's meant to be one of the best players in the world, one of the highest paid players in the league. That to me sounds brazy. That's all I'm saying. That bit.
Oh, but the guy's not playing by like you're acting like he's playing by himself, and he needs to go out there and do. Messi can't do what Messi can do if he didn't have Xavi.
No. The way we gassed him, the way we,
bro, he's not having the same effect, bro. He's not having the same effect.
With the way we gassed this brother up at the start of last season, he would have been putting into Ballon d'Or conversations. Best player in
Premier League history. Best winger in Premier League history.
I'm hearing he's clear of Hazard. He's clear of this brother. All what I'm saying on that bit is
output wise, player wise, no. I like
just on that bit specifically though. On that bit specifically, I find it mad that we have to facilitate a guy this much who's meant to be this great. That's all I'm saying. That on whether we should sell him. On whether we should sell it specifically, I think if we don't get new owners in and we have to do a sell to buy kind of thing still, then I would look to sell Salah because whether we rate him or don't rate him, I still rate him. He's one of the only assets we've got on our team. Let's just have it right. We're not selling anyone else with big keys right now. So it depends very much on the ownership. Would I sell Salah per se? I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't want to because I don't like doing the sell to buy thing. I like to think by now at this point, having a Premier League and a Champions League under our belt, we should be in a position where we can add to the great players we have, as opposed to, all right, we want to get one in, okay, we have to sell one. But realistically, we are where we are with these owners. If we still have FSG at the end of the season, then I think we should be looking to sell Salah because the rebuild that we're talking about doing by just signing Jude Bellingham is not going to be enough. So we need to raise fees some other way. So it depends on the ownership.
I think it depends on the manager, bro. But I'm never selling Klopp still. Get rid of the manager and we'll see the best of Salah.
Right.
That's it.
Right. What, you're Salah over Klopp?
Yeah, bro. I ain't got time for... Listen, the guy only won us the
Premier... Salah over Klopp.
Listen. The guy... Okay, can I ask you guys a quick question then? The only trophy we've not seen as Liverpool fans, right? The only trophy we never saw was the Premier League. And that's the only thing he brought us. I've already seen the Champions League. I'm pretty sure you guys have. We've seen us win the League Cup. We've seen us win the World Club Championship. I'm sure we've seen us win the FA Cup. So the only trophy in 7 years that this guy has made me go, do you know what? He's sick, is the Premier League. 1 in 7 years.
That's the hardest one to do, though. Let's not. You said to me,
bro,
I'm downplaying.
7
You're
attempts.
downplaying
No,
them.
Endz, I'm with you, by the way.
Seven
I'm
attempts.
with
7 attempts, bro.
Klopp's done the thing that I hadn't seen.
I hear you.
Hence, in his defense,
Okay.
it's 4 attempts. We were not
Okay.
challenging him on the second he walked through the door.
Word.
Okay.
You know what? It's mad, isn't it? You know what? You know, this whole argument would be scary if Brendan Rodgers had won the league that year, you know. And I was talking about...
Oh my
Brendan Rodgers
days!
had won this
If
league,
Brendan or
Klopp would have
Rafa
been
had
gone-
won the league,
Klopp would have
this
gone-
whole
From
Klopp would have
2021.
been gone 2 seasons ago.
From
Klopp would have been
2021,
gone 2 seasons
when we
ago.
lost, from when we lost 6 home games in a
Yeah,
row,
you would have been gone. You would have been gone.
Klopp's gone.
So
Because
and
I'll be
that's
real.
what I'm
Rafa
saying,
had
yeah.
won the league, and then we went that time, and then Brendan came in and won the league. Bro, Klopp, I want you out the second we don't win that league the second time around, bro.
The
I need
only
something different.
argument,
We're just
the only
lucky
argument I
being
can hear for
able
Klopp
to
now.
Yeah, go
By
on.
the way,
survive this long.
All right.
In a
Big
bit.
up, man.
I've got to shoot, so
Big up, bro. Big up.
In a bit.
All right, love, bro.
The
Guys,
only
make sure you
argument
head
for
over to
Klopp
Big
now
Six
is
Bands
that-
as well. Please make sure you subscribe. Peace.
Like and subscribe.
Sorry, yeah, go on. Go.
No, I was just gonna say the only logical argument for Klopp in that at the moment is he brought us our first league title for 30 years. Blah 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 blah. That would be gone straight away. So then you're just looking at, okay, cool, right? So out of the 2 seasons in 7, we've just completely fallen to the wayside and looked mad. So there's no reason for him to stay. There actually would be no reason for him to stay. So he's really clinging on to it right now. That league title is keeping him in a job.
Nah, I think some of the fan base is making him cling on, bro.
Nah, yeah, I was gonna say I feel like the fan base.
People are just they love him so
But
much.
the fan base are pressed. Sorry, and the fan
Yeah,
base
go
are
on,
so pressed because of the league title. See what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
because he bought us that league.
Yeah.
If he just bought us the Champions League and we still hadn't had a league title, we would be looking at
Bro,
him.
I'm not gonna
very
listen.
But
differently.
these
That's
times
the- that's the
Ranieri
same
done the
thing.
same thing. Man got shipped that next season, rude boy.
Listen,
Ranieri, you
Arteta-
know?
listen,
Man got
Arteta is
shipped.
about-
Drag.
Arteta is about to win a league title, right? He's he looks like he's gonna win the league title. Klopp's had 4, Monts said 4.
Of course.
But, I'll agree with him. But this guy's he's gonna do it in a shorter period of time.
Yep.
And he looks like he's obviously a better coach. I'm not gonna say he's a better manager, but he looks like a better coach because the way his team's set up. Are we gonna wait and keep this sentimental thing and allow Arsenal to keep going because they look like they're gonna go, and if they do what they need to do in the summer, they're gone. Man City are gonna do what they need to do. We already know this. Chelsea already prepared to do what they need to do. Man United are prepared to do what they need to do. So we're gonna sit here with Klopp with no tactics, talking about giving Milner a new deal, Naby a new deal. No, is that what we're gonna do? I'm here.
That's not what I want to do, but it's
No, we're with you. We're all with you. I'm trying to see the guy.
I'm saying exactly, but I'm saying, look, let's say he doesn't go, right, and it doesn't look like he's going to go anytime soon, unless he was to walk away.
Yeah.
If that's the case, I think we've got to agree with G. If we've got to go and raise money, the only time you were successful or able to rebuild a squad, or not even rebuild a squad, but strengthen a squad, right, was when Coutinho left. And Coutinho was our talisman. You know, when you talk about talisman, that's what you talk about, a talisman.
Yeah, that was a real talent.
You're
free
losing,
kicks, corners, top bins.
Free kicks, corners, top bins, you're losing. He pulls something out the bag, boom. Like, do you know what I mean?
2 things wrong with that, though. 2 things. We don't have Edwards anymore to kind of window and get the best deal. And 2, players cost hell of a lot more now. So whatever we're going to sell, if you're going down the road, I think you're going down the road of selling Salah. We go and sell Salah, right? We'll probably get about 80 million, maybe. I'm just saying.
I don't know if we get that, you know.
Nah, we'll get some.
But saying like 80,
yeah, we ain't gonna get no 50 mil for him. Come on, bro. But we'll get 80 mil for him. Who are you going to go replace?
Do you know what 80 million gets you nowadays? Do you know what it gets you meaty ballers, bro? Very meaty ballers for 80 M.
But do it is ends. I'm not gonna lie.
These are Caicedo's out here going for almost 90. So boy,
no, but listen,
we're getting Harvey Barnes, bro. We're getting Harvey Barnes. That's it.
No, but guess what? But guess what? Yeah, this is above my pay grade. That is now based that the club have to go and do something with the money, bro. It doesn't matter. You've lost the bricks in it. I need my peas back, bro. You gotta get me my peas no matter what by the end of the week. That's them, innit? By the end of the window, they need to sort something out and make sure the players are good enough. I don't care if they're going to Japan. I don't care if the brother costs 2 million like Matoma did and he pops off. I don't care what it is. You've got 80 million now. You've got the money. Do something with it. That's my opinion on it.
No, bro,
Yes,
I'm with
it
you.
sounds
You
mad.
know I'm with you.
Yes, it sounds mad. Yes, it will be difficult to go and like replace. You won't be able to get like a name man for man. But do you know what I mean? But if you, for example, let's say we had sold Salah in the summer, and obviously these are ifs and buts, and you bring in a Matona for 2 million, but he performs the way he's doing for Brighton this season, we're in a better position as a team. And if you do that in key positions, you do that in the midfield, you do that at right back, and you go in and are smart in the market, there's still deals to be made. Imagine Liverpool had signed Caicedo and Mitoma. Like, and they performed the way they're doing, and the structure was right. We'd be sitting there thinking, wow, and we've refreshed the squad somehow. Wow, how amazing. If our academy was better and we had Pedri and Gavi coming through, right? We'd be sitting there going, rah, we were smart in how we went and operated. It's not necessarily having to go and buy like a Mbappe to replace a Salah and all of that.
Yeah, in fact,
this is above my pay grade now. You guys have all the figures. You guys have the databases. Find the breader, bro. It shouldn't fall on G having to go and bring me like a daily dose of like what wingers we should be looking at and what youngsters are about, bro. I don't care about those players, bro. I don't care about them 17, 18-year-olds. I don't give a fuck. Excuse my language. I don't care. Bro, just get me the players that can perform. I don't care who you are. I don't care about the name. I don't care about the age. And that's my frustration in the January window as well, in the summer window. I don't care about the name of the player. If they had signed some Japanese, like Wing Tata or whatever from Japanese league, and he played in midfield, bro, I don't care, bro. I don't care. But if he performed, I'd be like, sick. You signed it. We needed a midfielder. You got a midfielder. Cool. I don't want to hear you telling us we got a midfielder, though. That's when you're insulting my intelligence now. Do you know what I mean?
And when you're telling me that Jude Bellingham is the only midfielder that you want to get, and if you can't get him, you can't, because what's mad is Tchouaméni was that guy last season. Tchouaméni was that guy.
And then we signed Nunes, and then we signed Nunes, and we let Bruno Guimaraes go.
Do you know how fucking tap that is? You know how tap that is? We were hell bent on getting Tchouaméni. That it stopped us from getting Bruno Guimaraes, which led us to get Darwin Nunes. Where is the sense in that?
And then
explain that to me.
And we didn't get Bellingham, right? We didn't get Bellingham, yeah. So we still had some peas left over. Instead of saying to ourselves, you know what, we've got that peas. Let's make sure that we can use that money and just chuck something at Dortmund to go and even secure him now for the summer, right? You go and spend your peas on Gakpo. You fucking idiots, bro. This club, bro. Like,
nah,
it doesn't make any sense.
And this is where I say when it comes to Liverpool and the succession planning, when Jurgen Klopp signed his new deal, you can tell there wasn't any real plan. Klopp speaks about him signing a new deal and knowing that we needed a rebuild. I'm sorry, but a rebuild would require you to have maybe gutted some of the team and get in some new players. And then this season, if he had done that, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be here on every stream. And guys, I can see in the comments and stuff like that. It's not about reactions and things like that, because it's just purely about seeing what you can see every single day and every single time we step on the football pitch. If Liverpool had got rid of Salah, had got rid of Van Dijk, had got rid of all of these key players, for example, maybe even just 4 of them as an example, then I would turn around and say, okay, fair enough. I get it. This season's going to be a bit of a rebuild because we've got rid of quite a few of our key players to get some money in. We've got new players in. You've got the same team, bar Mane. You've even got the same team, bar Mane and Gini Wijnaldum, that you had 4 or 5 years ago. So now I'm looking at it and I'm thinking to myself, so people keep giving the excuse, and this is why I say it's an excuse. You can't tell me that this is transition when a mere 6 months ago, whenever it was, we were talking about, Jurgen Quad and all of this kind of stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, don't give him that excuse. Klopp needs to be under the most severe.
I only heard rebuild.
Let me even find it for you again. Go on.
No, I was going to say, I only heard the word rebuild and transition when we started doing shit. Because what I heard from the end of last season is we are one.
I can't even see us.
Or 2 pieces.
I'm not even going to remove the on the road to 300. I can't even see us, guys. Klopp needs to be under the most severe pressure. We are the only big team, and Chelsea as well. But what have Chelsea done? They tried to rectify it by getting in the signing. No problem. You can't get in the level of signings, but you can get something, as Jerry said. Like, you don't make signings like Nunes when you know that, when I hope you know that the issue is actually in your midfield. Sort out the midfield, the attack can come when the attack comes. The attack wasn't a pressing need anyway, but you went around it the other way around. Now, we're even in a situation whereby you don't know what you're doing with Nat Phillips. He's here now because we've got injuries. You've got injury-prone defenders in Gomez, Matip, and Konate. You've got no succession plan for that when Matip and Van Dijk are on the plus 30 side. You're now looking at Trent, who's got zero competition. Forget Ramsey, because we ain't seen that guy. He's got zero competition. So what happens with him in there? Bro, like, I don't get when people try to fight me on this whole Klopp thing. I'm like, guys, are you not seeing the exact same thing that I am seeing? Because if you are, you'd be doing the exact same thing and saying the same things. This guy then, clearly he can't work within the tools that he was given and he has been working with for the last 7 years. That's fine. Everyone gets an expiry date. Guess what? A new manager with new ideas, a new way of thinking might be able to get a tune. These players are bored. He is now a supply teacher. Like, you're not listening to man anymore. So it's like, if I'm not listening to the supply teacher, I'm walking out of class and I might go downstairs to the canteen, grab a flapjack and come back. Like, I don't care what you're saying anymore, because I know the messages that you were giving me, we can see it's not working. Salah can see it's not working. Van Dijk can see it's not working. Alisson has come out and said in an interview with Liverpool, I think teams are starting to wise up to us. Brother, if your own goalkeeper is saying this in an interview, surely, forget the book, forget the Pep Yinder's book thing. That is what it is. Your own goalkeeper is coming out and saying these things. This isn't a lie. This ain't made up. I didn't make this up. Go and check out the interview for yourself. It's there online. He said it himself. Teams are wising up to them. Klopp, do something, bro. Because right now, you're just destroying a legacy that you built up. And we're getting to the point where, as Endz said, I'm looking at Arteta. You're a better coach. Arteta just came yesterday. Like, he ain't been here for all 10, 15. He came yesterday, bro. I'm looking at De Zerbi. Like, even though De Zerbi has been in management for quite a while, so maybe I'll give him a bit more of a blight. But I'm looking at these guys and I'm saying, right, it's a bit crazy how all these other managers seem to be able to. Eddie Howe has got his team, and you're going to say Eddie Howe's got a better team than Liverpool. Do me a favor, bro. Like, that don't make no sense. But he's able to get a tune out of these players because he's got some level of tactical nous that is clearly higher than yours. So guess what, guys? I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's not reactionary, because reactionary is Klopp's been here for 1 year and I'm getting onto him. No, he's been here for 7. We've got 1 league title and 1 Champions League, which I've seen previously. So I'm not looking at that as some massive thing. I'm looking at that Premier League and saying, okay, he's done the Premier League thing. Fair enough. I get it. I don't care about we've won every trophy. I would have been more than happy to do what Manchester City are doing and just keep winning the Premier League. Don't care about anything. I'll keep winning that because it shows a level of dominance. This guy isn't even dominating anything, but we're so in love with him that we're all beefing each other and arguing, and the fan base is going crazy. Klopp in, Klopp out, FSG this. I'm like, guys, like, one of the main issues of this club is Jurgen Klopp. When he goes, I'm not going to say guarantee, but I'm sure some of the issues that we've got in this football club will actually get better once he goes. We might not win a league. It'll be weights off the shoulder. We might not win a league. I'm not saying that the next manager that comes in is going to just win the league straight away, because football don't work like that. Unfortunately, we might not get that lucky. But I can guarantee we'll be playing better football and we'll have a lot better sustainable style and tactic. And it will allow us to then be able to at least try and dominate for a period of time. It's that simple, man. But people are going to say what they're going to say. It is what it is.
I'll ask you guys this question, guys on the panel, and hopefully the guys in the chat. How many managers?
We got everyone in the chat, by the way. Make sure you're smashing that rascal out. Like,
make sure, man. How many managers are there in the Premier League, and how many coaches are there? Because the coaches at the moment, if you look, the ones that know how to tactically set up for games, they're above us.
Yep.
All the ones out.
Zerbi, Arteta, Eddie Howe, Ten Hag,
Pep Guardiola. All of these, man. So football's changing now. Forget this manager thing. Listen, Klopp has so much time on his hands. The guy stands, because obviously I pay attention to this inside training, bro. I shouldn't do it, but I do it just to make sure I'm connecting with the boys. Make sure I'm like, okay, man, them are happy. They look like they're cool. Paying attention. This guy just stand there with his hand behind his back the whole time. Bro, go and sign players. Go and look at players if you're going to just be standing there. Because you got coaches doing the job for you. Go and sit in the office, man, and go and research South American players from Africa or something. Do something and stop, bro. He's winding me up, man.
I even saw the other day, the FA Cup game, City Arsenal. I think Haaland got injured. As soon as there was a break in play, I see Pep, I see Arteta. Man, them come over here. He's tactics, coaching. Bro, when the ball goes out of play, Klopp's just standing there with his mouth open, like smiling. Like, what a great game. Like he's
Why
a
are you
spectator.
smiling? So, ever since you got this new team, you just want to be
Can you
smiling
coach?
every day, bro.
Can you actually coach us, please? Please.
Nice,
It's mad.
Doesn't know what's going on. That's what it
It's
is.
mad. It's mad.
But
It's mad.
listen,
Look,
the team isn't far gone. We can easily fix what's going on, guys. The trouble is, Klopp is just so stubborn. He doesn't want to just change his system. When before the World Cup, we changed the system. We had so many different formations, and I was just like, Klopp, you've now got it. You have now gone with what I've been trying to say for years. Be unpredictable. You keep going with 4-3-3. All these man don't even have to watch old tapes, bro. They can just watch. They can watch when you first set up your formation. They're going to play 4-3-3. Salah's going to be off the right. Mane's going to be on the left. Firmino's going to be through the middle. How can we set up to stop them? Nah. But before the World Cup, this guy was like, "No, I'm going to run a 4-2-3-1. I'm going to run a 4-4-2. I'm going to run a 4-1-4-1." Like, it was just so mad. So coaches are like, I don't know what he's going to come with. In game, we'll swap in formation. I was like, this is how. That's why we started. We beat City. We beat West Ham. We started doing things, even though the performances might not have been that great, but we were getting results. This guy, after the World Cup, go to some dumb training camp, come back and gone, 4-3-3 again. I'm like, bro, what is going on?
I don't make sense. I actually don't make it. It makes no sense.
Look, we can rap about this, and we're going to anyway. I know we are, but I'm going to end the stream here for today anyway, for this evening. I just like to big up everyone who's in the chat, by the way. Everyone's opinions, please keep bringing them. Leave comments. Make sure if you haven't already, smash that like button. If you haven't already as well, and you've joined in on the chat this evening, or this early afternoon or whatever, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Big up Jerry, big up Endz, big up Ish, Romz, Kurdish, Jamie, Monts as well. Make sure you guys go and follow them. I'm going to put everyone's links in the description. Guys, anything to say before we head out, man? In fact, no, one question before we head out. Where do we finish at the end of the season?
5th. I'll stick to what I said at the start of the season, so 5th.
Jerry. Ish.
7th.
Ish.
Europa Conference. Like that.
You know what? I think 6th. I think the Brentford, Fulham, and do you know what? No, 7th. I think Brighton finished above us.
Yeah, I think Brighton finished above us. Yeah, 7th.
Yeah.
I'm saying 7th.
Does that get us Conference League or Europa?
Yeah.
Conference.
Guys, that to me, I'll go and see. I'll watch them games, bro, because that's something different. A new trophy, bro. We can go and win.
Because then it's a trophy that everyone's gonna say, "Oh, but he's won everything and he's got it."
See Thursday 5 o'clock when you're at work and you're rushing to get home from work. Thursday 5 o'clock. You'll see then. You'll
5 o'clock in Azerbaijan trying to play against lose, bro.
Listen, you're gonna see guys like
we got anyone from Azerbaijan
20 goals in that competition. Guys like Carvalho scoring goals. We'll be gassed, bro. See the man.
No, they won't be scoring any goals, bro. We'll be getting knocked out and we'll be complaining why we in that, because in the league we'll be struggling. You're talking like an extra 30 games a season, bro. No. Count me out, man. Count me out.
Play the youngsters.
Thursday, Sunday.
Play the
Thursday,
youngsters.
Sunday. What youngsters? Our academy is dead.
Curtis Jones. You know what I mean? The Harvey.
Youngsters. He's a man, bro.
Man's 23 next year. Man's 23 next year.
But guys,
I know you don't want to see that.
For obviously joining me this evening. G, Jerry, Ish, Endz. Thank you guys, and we are out.